Fret not, friends. The Fan is still live and local with Fan Sports Saturday. The name might not be great, but what if we included Tyvis Powell, a 3-year starter for the Buckeyes, defensive MVP of a national title game, and the man who brought down Alabama.
Ball in the air toward the end zone, and that ball is going to be caught, and the Buckeyes get it. Coming out of the end zone with a football for Ohio State is Tyvis Powell. He goes racing up and is tackled at the 30-yard line, and the king of the SEC has fallen.
It's Fan Sports Saturday with national champion Tyvis Powell. Oh, and Eric Racer.
I think we talked 2 weeks ago about the madness being at a simmer. Last week, you take a break off of the madness because of the Stadia Series matchup, which you could take me back to a Saturday. Or I like to go back to last week.
Even though you were cold?
Yeah, but it's the winter.
What?
Cold's part of it.
I guess spring starts, in
2 weeks?
17 days?
Sure.
Or something like 13 days?
I would, if I could go back, I'd just take that space heater to our right, plug it in, because the thing about a big metal box is if you have a space heater that's going for about an hour, you can turn that thing into a sauna pretty quickly.
Eric, it was not that bad.
It was a tremendous day, yeah. Cold feelings aside.
Yes, it was that. Even it wasn't cold. We were blocked. The wind was blocked off by the container.
To the 95,000 people that were in Ohio Stadium.
No, listen.
For that matchup between the Red Wings and the Blue Jackets.
When I left that game, because I left after the first period.
You didn't have to say that.
I had to.
Say when I left that game.
When I left that game. Okay. All right, everybody forget what I said. When I left that game, and I was walking back to my car because, I had a hike.
You had a hike. You parked at the Woody Hayes Athletic Center.
No, I parked at the Covelli Center. That's even further.
Yes.
As I was walking back to the Covelli Center, the parking lot there, I thought to myself, man, it is really cold out here. And it just made me appreciate fans in this town even more. Like, as cold as it was for me walking back to my car, I was like, it's 90,000 plus that's sitting in there, outside.
Yep.
Even in higher up, as you get higher.
You get in C-deck.
It's even colder.
Yep.
And they stood there and cheered those Blue Jackets on. They had the time of their life and they probably didn't even mention the weather. And that's remarkable to me.
So there's that from last Saturday. And then back on December 20th. When you had Ohio State and Tennessee.
Yeah,
it was similarly
I said
cold.
The same thing. I said, I ain't going out there.
But Buckeye fans showed out for that, and so did Tennessee fans and froze their asses off. But they froze their asses off for their teams. And that's why I will argue and maybe fight anybody that says this isn't the best sports fans. That these aren't the best sports fans in the land.
I think we should.
This isn't the best sporting town in the land.
You know what I would do?
I would try to fight.
I would reward them with a dome.
Well, you got to take a couple of steps before you get to said dome, but I'm not interested in having that conversation with you today. People get really super mad about that.
Listen, they would enjoy. Think about that hockey game in a dome. Oh, man, it'd have been great.
Well, they do that hockey game in a dome a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Over at Nationwide Arena.
You know what I mean.
They'll do that hockey game in that dome at Nationwide next week. CBJ are going to head to New York tomorrow to try to halt a 2-game slide. There was the NHL trade deadline that we'll get to in a sec, but when I talk about the madness simmering 2 weeks ago, I think now the madness is at a low boil. As you heard Cole there in the update, a big Saturday for the basketball Buckeyes. The men try to stay bubblicious. Because what happens this week is you start to get bid stealers. You start to get teams from other conferences who normally wouldn't make the NCAA tournament but win their conference championship, conference tournament championship, and then they're taking bids from you. There's 3 teams right now in the Big Ten that are feeling real shaky about their NCAA tournament chances. At least 3. Ohio State,
Nebraska,
and then you have the Indiana Hoosiers, who will face in Bloomington today at 3:45. Coverage starts there at 2:45. And then last night, the Ohio State women's basketball team played lockdown defense late and made their free throws, which is a basketball theme from Friday night I want to revisit a couple of times in this program. And we're able to escape the Gamebridge Fieldhouse with a 1-point win over Iowa and advance to the Big Ten semifinals, where they will meet the UCLA Bruins.
I thought it was done, When that girl from Iowa hit that 3, I was like, oh, my goodness, we are in trouble. just shout out to Cody. Cody just.
You see the emotion on her face when that game went final.
She's such a passionate player. Like Cody is just. She realized like I got to get us a bucket. I got to win us this game. And the thing about Cody, what I respect is she's like a mini LeBron. Like when she makes her mind up that she want to go to the cup, you ain't stopping her. You're just not gonna stop her. And she did a really good job of drawing the foul. I thought it was an and one, but they called a reach-in foul before the shot, which okay, that's fine. And to go up there, knowing the situation, being down one, to shoot 2 free throws, to ice the game, and then get a good defensive stop like that, y'all earned that one. That's the way to win the game.
You get maybe an hour to celebrate that. Because you got the UCLA Bruins tonight at 5:30 in the semifinals. That game you can hear over on ESPN Columbus with coverage at 5:15. Also be televised on the Big Ten Network. We're going to effort Matt Andrews sometime in the 11 o'clock hour. We're going to let him sleep in a little bit. Because the benefit with tournaments like this is Matty A's done a lot of scouting for UCLA, and so he kind of knows this matchup from having done it previously this season. It did not go well for the basketball Buckeyes when they met the Bruins in Los Angeles. Yeah. But you get a chance today. Winner will play either Michigan or USC. That's the other side of the Big Ten women's tournament.
Where is these games being played?
The Gamebridge Fieldhouse in Indianapolis, Indiana.
Okay, so they
site of next week's Big Ten men's tournament.
They got to come to the east side. Okay.
They got to come east.
Okay, I like that.
Which hasn't been a problem for either team.
Hey, listen, no, I'm just saying, like,
I hear you.
When you go to weird things happen when teams from particularly Ohio go out to the West Coast. Just weird and it's not women's basketball I'm just referring to. It's NBA, NFL, anywhere. Anytime you take a trip to the West Coast, you just don't play your best for whatever reason.
No. And I think to the Ohio State-Oregon game way back in October. On October 12th, it was an okay day for the football Buckeyes. Again, you put 31 points on that Oregon team. You think you're going to do all right, but they scored 32. And that's how that works. 1 point better.
One offensive PI away.
Gets you the win. So we're going to effort Matt Andrews in the 11 o'clock hour of this program. We'll have Dastardly Dave Biddle on at 9:30. He was at the Woody Hayes Athletic Center yesterday as it felt like Ryan Day just opened up the fire hydrant. He spoke on spring and a litany of other things, and then like 10 of his assistants had the chance to meet with the media.
Wasn't it nice?
It's been kind of cool.
To hear oh, man, you know, when you're coming off the
previous, you're feeling yourself a little bit, right? Like Ryan Day's become a media savant in the past 2 years, but even when the regime changed over from Urban to Day, because Urban didn't get much anything. You got Urban.
When we won it all, you don't think Urban... No, he don't come off as the type of guy that goes on.
He was the same. He was Urban.
Well, he's done it before.
Right. It was old hat to him.
Yeah.
He was always focused on the next national championship that I've got to win. But for Ryan Day, and this was even before Day won the national championship, it's always been a more transparent program, a more media-facing, a front-facing, media-friendly program. And this was a lot of that yesterday. So you heard from Matt Patricia, Ohio State's newest defensive coordinator. You heard from the newly minted OC of your football Buckeyes in Brian Hartline. A couple other assistants gave their thoughts on what's going to be a really pressure-packed spring. Because you start a week from Monday, and you only have 4 weeks until the spring showcase. Don't call it a spring game. And then the transfer portal opens for the spring window.
That's where it's going to get
You got a lot of questions you got to have answers to in quicker fashion than you've ever done that before. Speaking of Ohio State's defensive coordinator, Matt Patricia brought his pencil to Columbus. That's next at Sports Saturday on The Fan.
Big voice guy here to remind you that you're listening to The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Okay, thanks. I have 3 more seconds. Bye-bye. Get Eco.
Hey, Aaron.
Hey, Jerry.
You know, as much as I enjoy being a professional inventor, a few of my dream inventions still elude me.
Oh, yeah? Like what?
Well, the bruiseless avocado.
Ooh.
The unlosable TV remote.
Could change the world.
And for you, Aaron, the uncloggable drain.
Get Eco.
Until you crack it, Jerry. You know our 93 are free drain clearing offer is the next best thing.
Okay. Explain yourself.
Get Eco.
Our drain team will clear your drain for just $93. If we can't clear it, it's free. And we guarantee it'll stay clear for at least a year, or we will clear it again for free.
Get Eco.
We'll even send our little robot camera down there to make sure you don't have a larger problem that could cause more trouble in the future.
Get Eco.
You think your guys could bring that robot over to my place and help me find that TV remote?
I think that's impossible even for us.
Get Eco.
ECO.
Eco, plumbers, electricians, and HVAC technicians.
GetEco.com.
Do you realize making the minimum monthly payments on your credit cards, it'll take nearly 20 years to pay them off? What if I told you there's a way for you to get them all paid off in just a matter of weeks? Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. Imagine wiping out all of your credit cards. Here's where you go. AFLcash.com. That's AFLcash.com. Advantage First Lending is the easy button for tapping in to hundreds of thousands of dollars in your home equity. That's not the bank money, it's your money. Listen, your home, the value is way up. And now AFLcash.com has a super fast, hassle-free program that lets you turn that equity into cash. People do this are living their best life, their credit card debt free, with cash left over for other stuff like home improvements, maybe a vacation. See how much money you can get now. Go to AFLcash.com or call 844-394-CASH. That's 844-394-CASH. Say goodbye to greedy credit card companies. That's AFLcash.com.
Equal Housing Lender, NMLS 1209177. Subject to lender approval. NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
A Tim Hortons treat with Nutella is the perfect way to add a little joy to your day, whatever your day brings. Imagine reading your book with a smooth hazelnut mocha iced cap topped with Nutella, or tackling your to-do list with a delicious croissant filled with Nutella and whipped sweet cream. And when you're heading to the office, grab a hazelnut mocha iced coffee with cold foam, because there's nothing better than combining that irresistible Nutella taste with your favorite Tims. Treat yourself with the Nutella lineup, only at your neighborhood Tim Hortons. Limited time at participating U.S. restaurants, naturally and artificially flavored.
Pickup truck, sports car, motorcycle, minivan, townhouse, two-story, farmhouse, fixer-upper. What you drive and where you live is different for everyone, so it's important to have insurance that fits your needs and is just right for you. At Shelter Insurance, we understand that, which is why our agents help you design a comprehensive auto, home, and life insurance plan. Insurance that fits just right. Find an agent at shelterinsurance.com to get started. We're your shield. We're your shelter.
Morning Juice.
The margin's slim. You know, when you're trying to be good, playing other really good teams, you got to find a way to get the edge, and there's opportunities in there.
Morning Juice is sponsored by Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
Weekday mornings at 6. The Fan.
Hey there, friends. Bo Bishop here. As football winds down, college basketball is gearing up, and fans are ready to see which teams will prove they are ready to shine in March and who will be seen in San Antonio. You can get on all the action from tip-off to the final whistle at ESPN Bet Sportsbook. Right now, new ESPN Bet Sportsbook customers can bet $10 and get $100 back in bonus bets and unlock 30 days of ESPN Plus. Download the app. Sign up with the promo code Radio100 to get started today. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details.
For a limited time at Verizon, you can get our best price ever for a single line. Just $45 per month when you bring your phone, which is less than you spend on Too Tired to Cook takeout every week. Get one line on Unlimited Welcome for $45 per month with AutoPay plus taxes and fees. Visit your local Columbus Verizon store by April 2nd to save. $20 monthly promo credits applied over 36 months with a new line on Unlimited Welcome. In times of congestion, unlimited 5G and 4G LTE may be temporarily slower than other traffic. Domestic data roaming at 2G speeds. Additional terms apply.
Common Man here for Worthington Jewelers. I was the voice of another company for a long time, and then my good friend Bob Capace changed my mind about the jewelry experience. 25 years of local, 25 years of relationships. Experience the difference for yourself just like I did. The spring bridal sale is going on right now. You buy one, you get one 50% off. The best prices of the year on natural and lab-grown diamonds. Worthington Jewelers on High Street in Worthington, worthingtonjewelers.com.
The best matchup is you in a new Kia from Coughlin Kia. Get into a new Kia now with $0 down. Get 0% financing on select new Kias and make 0 payments for 3 months on any new Kia in stock. Visit CoughlinKia.com.
Coughlin has the car for you.
0% for 72 equals $13.89 per 1,000 financed on Nero EV, EV6, and EV9 with approved credit through Kia Motor Finance. 90 days deferred payments until June 2025. Qualified manufacturer incentives to dealer. Prior sales excluded. No security deposit. Residency restrictions may apply. Offers cannot be combined. See dealer for details. Ends 3/31/25.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
We will see clouds clear out and see a little bit more sunshine going into the day. We'll see highs in the low 40s with winds right around 5 to 15 miles per hour. For tonight, skies will be mostly clear and chilly as our lows drop around the low 30s. And then as we get into your Sunday, get ready. Even warmer weather on the way as our highs get into the low 50s with plenty of sunshine. For The Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfalo with your 10 weather impact forecast.
Here's a quick 10-second reminder that the Buckeyes have won the Natty. Also, we air all the games, and we always will. Thank you. Your home of the Buckeyes, The Fan. Just because it's the weekend doesn't mean we shut up. This is Fan Sports Saturday.
No, in fact, we'll bring on Dave Biddle of Bucknuts and 24/7 Sports and On the Money right here on The Fan in about 12 minutes. He'll give us his thoughts of what he saw when he was live at the Woody Hayes Athletic Center yesterday for a introduction to your new Ohio State coaching staff. The 2024 staff was finalized a little over a month ago, but it was everybody's first opportunity to meet each other. It was the first time for the media members to talk to Ryan Day about the offseason that he's had and what's to come in the spring, and to get themselves acclimated to a brand new defensive coordinator, a guy that hasn't coached in college football in like 25 years or something, when he was an assistant at Syracuse. And I mentioned Matt Patricia.
I was taken back. When the what? Who talked to the coaches?
The media members. Oh, you're doing that thing.
Makes me laugh. No,
the reporters that were doing their job.
No, you said it right. You said it, the media members. I'm glad you put it in.
Well, you weren't there.
That's my point. You're really proving my point.
There are several conversations I never want to have, and that's one of them.
I appreciate you for clearing that up, though.
Hey, anytime, pal. I had asked before the program to you, what was more difficult, learning the defense at Ohio State or learning a defense in the NFL? And you had said that NFL defenses were tougher, but the defense that you learned with the Seattle Seahawks was exceptional.
By far the easiest one.
Why was that?
Why was it easy?
Yeah.
Well, because one, I played in the secondary, so like this. Let me tell you how simple this was. Okay, so Seattle is a cover 1 and a cover 3 team. Okay, meaning they got one safety in the post. You either got 3 people in zones or you're in man to man. That's it. Like that's all we doing. As a corner, because I was playing corner in Seattle, when you can come in today and know what you have, your responsibility is. They'll tell you to call. All you need to know is if it's 1Y or if it's cover 3. If you hear 1Y, that's man to man. Okay? But if you hear cover 3, this is how you play cover 3. If it's 1 receiver to your side, you play it like man. If it's 2 receivers to your side, you play it like zone. That's it. That's
pretty simple.
So you come out there as a corner, you find out if it's 1 or 3. If it's 1, all right, I'm in man no matter what. If it's 3, how many receivers are to my side? How many eligibles are to my side? If it's just 1, play it like man. If it's 2, play it like zone. It was that simple. It was unbelievable.
And it also helped that you had an incredible amount of talent with that Seattle Seahawks defense.
Yes.
I think there was a moniker that they gave to them.
Something about Legion of Boom or something like that.
I'd say nationally renowned.
Something like that.
Similarly for Ohio State, the Silver Bullet defense is nationally renowned.
Yes.
As it was last season. And there was a turning point in the year where you went from an Ohio State defense that might have been asking its players to do a little bit too much to just be football players. Just be the incredible athletes you are.
Yes.
We'll put a guy over the top, but we'll also just see ball, get ball.
Isn't it amazing? So many times I think DCs get in their own way. And I get it. Like you see things and where we fail at as a DC, and I haven't been a DC, but I'm just telling you, the problem is you see a situation and you like, I know how to stop that situation. Like I know how, if they run this, if we are in this, then this would stop that. And you're trying so hard to make sure you have the perfect call for what you think is about to happen. And what happens is, that's a lot of thinking. Now the players got to think like, okay, because they will always say, back when I was playing, the first question you should ask yourself is, why are we calling this play? Oh, they must be thinking this is going to happen. Like, that's too much. Like, that's a lot. I ain't trying to think. Let me just give me the call. Give me the call. Let me look at the formation, understand what I'm supposed to look at, and let me play. Like, it's that simple. So a lot of the times these DCs want to put people in the right spots, and they overdo it. And it doesn't have to be that when you got great athletes.
Keep it simple, stupid is the acronym, KISS. And while I know Matt Patricia's not stupid, he's got 30 years of NFL experience. He says he's got like 2 Bibles full of plays. He's called every defense there is to call on the planet. The key for Ohio State is to take the incredible amount of talent and just have them be football players. He was asked yesterday, about coming to Ohio State and everything he gets to work with makes him excited for the job?
So excited to be here. I mean, just to be honest with you, I know I'm probably going to say it 1,000 times, but it's really the truth. Ohio State, everything that it represents, college football, it's kind of a long story for me. I've been in the NFL for a long time. I started off as a college coach. I actually coached with Coach Walton a long time ago at Syracuse University, so we go back, it might be almost 25 years now or longer. But for me, the NFL is great. I had a great run. It was a lot of fun. We won some big games, which was really cool. But I just love the college environment. I really got into coaching when I left engineering to, just pursue my passion of really working with young men.
I relate to Matt Patricia so much in that he talks with his hands when he's really excited.
I thought you was going to say you was an engineering major too.
No, no, I'm not intelligent. I'm almost positive Matt Patricia is very intelligent. Not only is he Mensa with the football, but Mensa in general. I'm an idiot.
Okay.
But when I get excited, I also do a lot of hand talking.
Well, I mean, you got.
And so when you see him yesterday, you see a guy that's really energized to be part of this. How could you not? When you got guys like Caleb Downs, when you got guys like Sonny Styles, when you've got guys like C.J. Hicks, who I guess might be making that transition as a defensive end.
He is. I tweeted out the next Abdul Carter.
Well, okay. Let's easy. He's still got to do spring at the full position. I think he spent most of his time last year in the linebacker room.
He's getting what he wanted.
That's true. He did ask for 4 pizzas and to be put as a defensive end. Here you go.
No, listen. I think I'm glad we're talking about the defense because, my biggest question mark about the defense is that tickled you.
It's like there's a plan for this.
I know, because you brought me to the point that I wanted to make.
Play to your strengths, Tyvis.
Anyways, the defense. My biggest concern about the defense is the pass rush. You got the Caleb Downs, you got IGB, you got Jermaine Matthews, you got Sonny, but to be honest with you, one of the most important things on the defense is the defensive line and the pass rush that you get. The way that those guys can wreck games, having great defensive tackles that can clog up the middle so they can't run the ball. So that to me is the biggest question mark because all 4 of those guys are gone, who was the starters last year. Every last one of them is gone. And they were all very, very productive. You talk about the Oregon game when we lost. What was the biggest difference? They didn't have a line. The line got no pressure on what's my guy? What's the quarterback?
For
the Oregon.
Dylan Gabriel.
They got no pressure on Dylan Gabriel that entire game. And he shredded that secondary apart to where if you go back and you look when they played him in the Rose Bowl, they sacked him 8 times. That was the most times he got sacked ever in his career in the game. So that to me is the one thing that I'm worried about. And when I seen the C.J. Hicks thing, I said, this is a guy that he has a skill set. His skill set is rushing the passer. I know they wanted him to be a linebacker, but he does a really good job at rushing the passer. And now that he's going to primarily be there, that's a position that needs to be replaced if you want this defense to be successful next year. Because don't get me wrong, Kenyatta Jackson is great. Caden Curry's great. But you need more. You need more of these guys, that can get after the quarterback and do it at a high clip. I mean, the reason we criticized JT and Jack Sawyer for all those years is because they would do it, but they didn't do it consistently. And that 4-game stretch that they had at the end, there was no doubt that those guys were relentless after the pass rusher, and that's what helped them win a lot of games, and that's something that seriously needs to be replaced.
And I think that's one of the 3 places Ryan Day specifically addressed when talking about how Ohio State will address the portal. So the spring game's on April 12th. That next Wednesday, I believe, April 16th, is when the spring portal period opens. And Day talked about shoring up the offensive line, shoring up the defensive front, and adding a quarterback. And so those 3 things I think are going to be main focuses for Ohio State, not only for veteran players in those 3 positions, but depth if you're trying to make another run like you did in 2024. Because not only will you need guys to contribute right away, but you need guys to last that long haul. Here's real quick, Matt Patricia talking about the idea of not wanting the same 11 players to always be on the field.
My whole goal is to try to figure out what do you do well? How do I put you in the best position to go get on the field and do that well that job well to the best of your ability, because if you can play fast, you can play aggressive, because I have you in your skill set, then you're going to be disruptive as a defensive player. You're going to help us win as a defense, win as a team, and we can fit the pieces around where everybody goes, in that accord. So, and then grow from there. So that's kind of like, I've coached all of it, right? It doesn't really matter. I've coached 3-4, 4-3, nickel, big nickel, dimes, all those packages, 4 down fronts, 5 down fronts, odd spacing. To me, it's all like, hey, that guy can do this or that guy can do this. And then I also think it creates roles. So it's not always like the same 11 on the field. So if you can have a really good skill set and you can do something, and if it's in a critical situation, then we got to get you in that spot and help you be in that situation to win the game.
Feels like Patricia gets it.
Yeah.
The position that he's in, the place that he's at, the ingredients that he's going to get to work with this upcoming season. And
the biggest thing was he acknowledged that I want these guys to play fast. And the best way to play fast is not overcomplicate things. You got better players. You're at Ohio State. That's the beauty of being at Ohio State. You're recruiting and having better players being developed here. Let those guys play.
Dave Biddle was at Ohio State for yesterday's festivities. He will join us in 2 minutes at Sports Saturday on The Fan.
ESPN Bet Sportsbook at Hollywood Casino Columbus is the place to be for all the basketball action. Watch every game at once with over 50 feet of video wall and more than 30 TVs. Endless chances to win big. Show off your jump shot in our King of the Court drawings or create your perfect bracket for a shot at Penn Cash. Enjoy food and bucket specials all tournament long. Guarantee your spot. Reserve a table now at HollywoodColumbus.com. Must be 21. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-589-9966.
Need inspiration? Shop Kroger for mouth-watering meals and appetizing ingredients. Our low prices add up to big savings, plus over $600 in digital coupons each week, and up to $1 off per gallon at the pump. At Kroger, you always get big flavors and big savings. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
Right now, 80% lean ground beef is on sale. 3-pound packages are only $3.99 a pound with your card. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
At Rocket, we believe everyone deserves their shot at the American dream. So if you're feeling locked out of home ownership, we're here to give you back the keys. We're opening doors, breaking down walls, and doing everything we can to turn renters into owners. And we're not going to stop until we help everyone home. To find out more, visit rocket.com. Rocket, own the dream.
Why pay more for prescriptions? Stop overpaying and start saving with SingleCare. It's easy. Find your prescription on singlecare.com, show the coupon at the pharmacy, and start saving. SingleCare works at pharmacies nationwide and is completely free to use, whether you have insurance or not. So the next time you fill a prescription, check SingleCare to make sure you're getting the best price. Take control of your prescription costs. Go to singlecare.com or download the free app today.
1, 2, 3. Here at The Fan, it's always football o'clock. Proud to be your home of the Buckeyes, Browns, and all the NFL games you can handle. The Fan. Instead of annoying national people talking to you this weekend, we've opted for annoying local people. This is Fan Sports Saturday.
All right, so to help mitigate how annoying Tyvis and I are, we go out now to the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline and bring on great friend of the program, Dave Biddle, to not annoy you and discuss what I thought, Dave, was like a fire hydrant yesterday at the Woody Hayes Athletic Center, where you not only got the head coach, who's become somewhat of a media darling in the past 12 months, but like a dozen assistants. Good morning. Thank you so much for giving us a little bit of the time. Did you ask Matt Patricia about his pencil?
I did not. I thought about bringing a prop, wearing a hat and putting a pencil in it, but I thought it'd be funny. And now I wish I would have done it because, I thought I didn't want him to think I was mocking him, so I didn't do it. But he either put on a really good show or he got a bad rap, an incorrect rap, because he comes across very engaging, very humble, especially considering he's a 3-time Super Bowl champion. He was asked about his failed tenure as Lions head coach. He didn't get defensive at all. He owned it. And I think he's going to be – I think Ohio State fans are really, really going to like him because every football coach talks about how, we adjust our scheme to the strength of our players. Some buy into that more than others. Patricia walks the walk. He proved it in New England. They would switch their scheme up, sometimes game by game. So he's not going to be married to one philosophy. I think it was a home run hire. Reminds me a lot of when Chip Kelly came here last year. People kind of focusing on, well, he kind of ended as a, kind of bad with the 49ers. Yeah, as head coach in the NFL. Like, ask Nick Saban and Urban Meyer and Steve Spurrier how hard it is to be a head coach in the NFL. So, yeah, he failed with the Lions, but I think his track record as a defensive coordinator speaks for itself, and I think Ryan Day did a great job hiring him and putting this whole staff together.
I agree with you on that one, Dave. Outside of quarterback, what's your biggest concern for this team?
Oh, geez. It's interesting because I do believe in the starters on the defensive line. It's just the depth concerns me there because all those guys that are starters now were the main backups. And I like the starters, the projected starters. Defensive ends, Kenyatta Jackson, Caden Curry. Defensive tackles, Caden McDonald, Edric Houston. I love that. But who are going to be those guys that were like really, really good backups last year? Like, they need to build that depth. And they've got some guys that could do that. They've got C.J. Hicks is going to be strictly a defensive end. I like that. See ball, get ball, coming off the edge. They got Logan George. They brought in a defensive end from Idaho State. They got some young D tackles like Will Smith Jr. and Jason Moore and some others that could step up. But even Ryan Day said, I asked him, like, are you guys still going to look at the portal when that opens in April, late April after spring ball? He said, yeah, they will. They'll look at it. But they feel like they've done a good job so far. But he said the one area of concern is, as far as depth, is defensive line. So, I'll go with that. I'm not going to disagree with head coach, national champion Ryan Day.
Dave Biddle, our guest, hear him on the money tomorrow morning on The Fan at 9 a.m. Read his stuff at Bucknuts and 24/7 Sports. Dave, with that portal opening less than a week after the spring game, how do you expect Ohio State to kind of handle this next month? I mean, it's 2 weeks later than they would normally be doing a spring, and then you have the showcase, don't call it a spring game, but then right into the transfer portal where he talked about addressing the defensive front, addressing some offensive front, addressing a quarterback spot maybe in that portal. How does he put this puzzle together?
The good news is I think now it's just about finding depth pieces. And maybe you do want to find like a guy that can at least compete to start at D tackle, but it's going to be tough to find any frontline starters. The good news is they already found two good offensive linemen, including one really good one in Ethan Onianwa from Rice, and I like Phillip Daniels as well. So I think they did a good job getting two offensive linemen. I could see them. Coach Day kind of intimated they could add another offensive lineman, although with the depth those interior guys picked up in the playoffs, and all those guys were back, Carson at center, and then the three guys that rotated at the two guard spots, all those guys were back. I could see them getting a quarterback for sure, but just for depth. So it's going to be like, guys that we've seen come in the past, like Gunnar Hoke and Chugs and Tristan Gebbia, something like that, because Ryan Day always wants 4 scholarship quarterbacks in there. So look for a depth piece at QB. Look for I see maybe a little bit of a depth situation at safety. Now, it's a good situation overall at safety. He's got Caleb Downs, and he got Jalen McClain and Malik Hartford fighting it out for that other starting spot. But they could use depending on how the freshmen come in, they could use a depth piece at safety. But the good news, Tyvis, is they don't have to, and Eric, they don't have to find, they don't have to go and find their starting quarterback or find another 1A running back. They already got C.J. Donaldson, the running back. I thought they did a great job getting Max Clare, the tight end. Onianwa might be the best offensive lineman in the entire portal this year. A lot of people thought he'd be a second-round pick in this year's draft if he turned pro. So the good news is they've already done a good job getting in the portal. Now they can just kind of fill in some of the blanks here.
Thank you for mentioning Tristan Gebbia. It always puts a smile on my face just to hear his name. Let's go to the quarterback room, though. Obviously, you got 3 guys in there that has little to no experience. Obviously, Julian Sang is the heavy favorite. What do you expect to see out of all 3 of these guys, coming this spring?
Yeah, just how are they going to take the bull by the horns? They saw the best example of how leadership can really just elevate a quarterback from good to great with Will Howard. So and Ryan Day talked about that a lot yesterday. The good news is all these guys even Tavian St. Clair, who got here in January, was able to go with the team, obviously, to the Cotton Bowl and the national championship game. What a great experience for those kids that enrolled early. Oh, yeah, just get to go to the Cotton Bowl and the national championship game and experience a national championship win. So they were around Will. And I think it will be Julian. I think Lincoln Keenholz is going to, a heck of a good athlete. I'm glad he's around. I'm pretty much 99% convinced it's going to be Julian. And I think he's got the talent, but yeah, he only threw 12 passes last year. He'll technically be a redshirt freshman that's come here. He's only played in 4 games, and I think he's got the skills, but He's not. I've heard people say, "Oh, is he even like 6 foot tall?" Yeah, I think he is a legit he's at least 6'1", 6'2". I'm not worried about his height, but he does need to get stronger. And then the leadership skill, that is just so imperative at the quarterback position to be the leader of the team. And Will Howard came in as a 5th-year senior. I'm not saying it's easy because he had to come in and he was joining a new team, but at least he had played 4 years of college football. So it's easier said than done to be like, well, Julian Sand's going to be the leader of this team, but he needs to take the bull by the horns and be the leader of the team. Do some of the things like Will Smith was doing. Take the offensive lineman out, to dinner and stuff like that. Just do things that quarterbacks that are true leaders do. And he has to put his own stamp on it. Don't just copy what Will did, but you have to be a great leader at the quarterback position. So I'm confident in Julian Sand, but it's one of those things like I do want to see it first. I'm not going to sit there, we're not going to skip a beat. He's going to be a Heisman finalist. I do want to see it first. It does help the cause that he's going to be thrown to J.J. Smith and Carnell Tate and the boys, though.
The talent does help. The opponent to open the season, I'm not sure does in terms of a brand new quarterback when you have Texas on August 30th. Does Ryan Day, does Billy Fessler, do they feel like they have to expedite this in terms of getting the guy ready to be the guy for that game against Texas?
I don't think obviously they're going to do everything they can to win the Texas game. But I think maybe because of what just happened, I think they realize they have to. He talked about this a little yesterday. They have to just focus on obviously winning every game that they can, but they want to be playing their best football in the playoffs. You always want to be playing your best football near the end of the season, but it's a different calculus now. We saw it firsthand when we thought. Maybe not Ohio State was dead in the water after the Michigan game, but certainly it wasn't looking good, and they go on a magical 4-game run. So I don't think they're going to we've got to win the Texas game or else, because I think they know they can lose to Texas, lose another game, and still get in at 10-2. They got in at 10-2 this past year. So obviously you want to beat Texas. It's fun. I think it's fun for the fans. I know Matt Rule at Nebraska said there's no reason to ever play these games. Well, you wouldn't be making $9 million a year, Matt Rule, if it wasn't for the fans. So maybe there is a reason to play these games. I hear what he's saying, though. But, I don't know if they're going to expedite the process because of Texas. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they will to a degree. But I think they're focused on making sure that they are, playing their best football when the CFP rolls around, presuming they're actually going to make the CFP, which I don't think is a massive presumption. I think this team's going to be really good. Not as good as last year. That doesn't mean they can't win the national championship. But this team last year, they might set the record for the most draft picks ever. And there's a lot of talent coming back led by Downs and J.J. Smith. They just don't have the depth of last year's team. But they can still – I don't see a juggernaut out there in college football. Ohio State can absolutely win it all, but I'm glad there's no talk of natty or bust this year. Let's just enjoy the national championship. Let's enjoy this season and see what happens.
Yeah, it's a good spot to be in for Ohio State, considering all of the questions that all the other teams that want to make a CFP run have that you just mentioned. Dave, do you get a spring break, or are you working this week? Because they're right back at it next Monday.
My spring break was last week. I went to spring training, down in Arizona. Maybe I crossed that off my bucket list. So not a real spring break, but I went down to see Reds and Guardians. They're right there. I think it's really cool. They share the same facility there in Goodyear, which is named after the Goodyear Tire Company from Ohio.
Hey.
All kinds of Buckeye references down there, including the town of Buckeye. I love it.
All right. Well, Dave, thank you so much for giving us some of your time. And enjoy. We're in baseball season. You got baseball season. You got spring football. This truly is one of the best times, if not the best time of the year. And we're appreciative that you give us some of your time this morning.
Thanks, fellas. I appreciate it. Go Bucks today.
Yeah. Big pair of games for the basketball Buckeyes. Again, Dave joins us courtesy of the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. I asked Dave about the pencil. Someone did ask Matt Patricia about that pencil. You'll hear what Patricia had to say coming up next at Sports Saturday on The Fan.
If you consider yourself a Buckeye fan, you've come to the right place. This is your heritage sports talker and home of Ohio State athletics, The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
The best matchup is you in a new ride at Coughlin Chevrolet, Central Ohio's #1 Chevy dealer. Lease a new 25 Chevy Trax, $149 a month. Your choice, new 25 Trailblazer or 24 Blazer EV RS. Lease for $169 a month. At all 5 Coughlin Chevy locations and CoughlinChevrolet.com. Together, let's drive.
Coughlin has the car for you.
36, 42, and 24-month leases, 10,000 miles per year, 25 cents per mile over, $39.99 due at signing plus tax, title, and license. See dealer for details. Ends 3/31/25.
Getting great deals at Meijer on the items your family loves makes shopping a good deal better. This week, plump and juicy red seedless grapes are $1.29 a pound. Certified Angus beef ground beef from Chuck is just $4.99 a pound. Purple Cow 48-ounce ice cream and frozen yogurt and select varieties of frozen novelties are just $2.99. And 12 packs of Coca-Cola or Pepsi products are buy two, get one free, plus deposit where applicable. Get more and save more at Meijer. That's the good life. Exclusions apply. See all deals in-store or in the Meijer app.
For a limited time at Verizon, you can get our best price ever for a single line. Just $45 per month when you bring your phone, which is less than you spend on Too Tired to Cook takeout every week. Get one line on unlimited welcome for $45 per month with AutoPay plus taxes and fees. Visit your local Columbus Verizon store by April 2nd to save. $20 monthly promo credits applied over 36 months with a new line on unlimited welcome. In times of congestion, unlimited 5G and 4G LTE may be temporarily slower than other traffic. Domestic data roaming at 2G speeds. Additional terms apply.
New treatments for joint pain are here. By now, you've heard about regenerative medicine. If you're wondering if you're a good candidate, answer these questions. First, does chronic pain in your knees, hips, shoulders, or other joints keep you from doing the things you enjoy? Golfing, jogging, time with the family. Does it hurt doing the things you need to do, like getting out of bed, sleeping, working, and walking? And finally, do you want to avoid surgery and all of the pain, long recovery, and uncertainty that comes with it? If you answered yes to any of those, you need to call QC Kinetics now. Learn about exciting advancements in regenerative treatments that can give you long-lasting pain relief with no drugs, no surgery, and no downtime. Get your free consultation today. Call QC Kinetics. That's QC Kinetics. Here's the phone number.
Call now, 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544. QC Kinetics, 380-208-4544.
Common Man here for Worthington Jewelers. I was the voice of another company for a long time, and then my good friend Bob Capace changed my mind about the jewelry experience. 25 years of local, 25 years of relationships. Experience the difference for yourself just like I did. The spring bridal sale is going on right now. You buy one, you get one 50% off. The best prices of the year on natural and lab-grown diamonds. Worthington Jewelers on High Street in Worthington, worthingtonjewelers.com.
Hi, here are some ways to listen to The Fan. You can download the Fan app or listen at home on your smart speaker or open up the iHeartRadio app or hold your head out the window and hear Common Man scream. Happy listening from the Dopes at The Fan.
The Reds are on the radio.
Long fly ball, deep left center field, way back. It is gone.
This could be an inside the park home run. L.A. De La Cruz is on.
He leaps and he caught it.
20 home runs on the year for Spencer Steer. What will Terry Francona's 2025 Reds look like? Find out for yourself. Cactus League play is underway. Hear all the action on your home of the Reds.
This year, we considered hiring an ad agency to help with our marketing.
They pitched impressive visuals and a script that was inspiring.
And exotic animal mascots to help grab your attention.
In the end, we just decided to tell it to you straight. Shelter Insurance has award-winning customer service at affordable rates.
Plus, our local agents are there to help you understand what coverage you need.
To find an agent near you, visit shelterinsurance.com and switch today.
It's been a great run. Care Heating and Cooling has achieved goals I could only imagine 30 years ago. But now it's time for the next generation to take over. This is Mike Weens, now the retired founder of Care Heating and Cooling with my sons, Dennis and Ryan.
Dad, I remember you saying that a family business should reflect family values, that a customer deserves to be treated with kindness and compassion.
And those values will never change. The reputation you built for being fair and honest is our greatest asset.
In fact, in 2024, Care was awarded a BBB Torch Award for Ethics and named the Lennox Partner of the Year.
You don't earn those awards by leaving cat toys behind. It's an honor to continue serving Central Ohio as a locally owned, family-run business.
So, whether you need a tune-up, repair, or just honest advice, Care is here for you.
Call Care Heating and Cooling at 1-800-COOLING or schedule an appointment online at careheatingandcooling.com. When you need a company you can trust.
All your favorite fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Sports talk, weekend style. You're listening to Fan Sports Saturday.
We had talked about the madness being at a low boil. Like, it's not time right now to put the noodles in, but you're also not going to want to stick your finger in the pot because it's just a low boil.
It's a low boil.
And
you can see the little bubbles.
Yeah, as we get to Sunday, it starts to boil a little bit more to where you're like, all right, maybe it's pasta time. Because for Ohio State, for both the men's and the women's squads, you get a little bit of clarity what you're going to be doing or not doing for the NCAA tournament. Like Ohio State's game today against Indiana at 3:45. You can hear it right here on the Fan coverage at 2:45. One of those two teams is playing for a spot in. The other's playing to cling to the bubble. Because as we talk about some of these smaller conferences playing their conference tournaments over the next couple of days, those are bid stealers.
Yeah.
Like I looked to the Mid-American Conference, and they're never a bid stealer because it's just a one bid league. But some places like the A10, those will have a couple teams that not only will they send their regular season conference champions, it's going to be pretty good, but like a Dayton might sneak in there, win the tournament. And then you got Dayton and VCU.
Don't talk about Dayton around these parts.
Why not? What's wrong with Dayton?
We lost to them in the tournament before.
Man, that was in the past. You got to get over it.
I can't.
Dayton, Michigan State,
I can't.
Virginia Tech. You've just let these things go, my friend.
Those losses, like towards my senior year, those losses, they hurt.
But you learn from them and you get better. Against Virginia Tech, you learned from it and you got better. Similarly for Matt Patricia.
No.
He had a bad time in Detroit. He learned, and Ohio State fans hope that he's gotten better because of that.
Is that why he has a pencil?
Well, I think he had the pencil in New England.
Oh.
See, I wonder, and you'll hear from him in a sec, and I haven't heard this entire cut, so I'm excited to see exactly what he says. I think the pencil's part of the gimmick, brother, because Dave Biddle had said that he likes to take notes, but when he spoke yesterday, there was a table, a tablecloth, and a bunch of microphones and recording devices in front of him. No place to really take notes. So, Mr. Patricia, what's the pencil about?
I'm always taking notes. I actually don't have mine, but I usually carry like a little notebook. So even when our guys are working out, I'm probably walking around just taking little notes, and we're always drawing football. It's kind of just a habit at most points from being a young coach and breaking film. As a young coach, we would break down film. I would draw every play, in detail, all 22 guys, footwork, depths, alignments, all of it, and it really was. We hand drew them, and, a good old number 2 is the best. You get it nice and sharp, you could have a nice clean point, and the lines were smooth. But it used to take us like 12 hours to break a game. You're drawing every play. So when you're coaching all day long and then trying to break 4 or 5 games during the course of the week, if you had 10 minutes, I didn't care where you were in the building, you had your pads with you, you were like, boom, let me start to draw. It kind of just went in the hat behind the ear because that was the safest place to put it. So that's kind of where that is.
Couple questions. When you were preparing for the NFL draft, Patricia came to Columbus and worked you guys out.
Yes, he did.
Did he have the pencil in his ear during those workouts?
Yes, he did.
All right, so he's living the gimmick.
The funny thing is, now that we sit here thinking about it, I'm like, so he came in and he had, it was all of like the defensive guys. We went into the defensive meeting room and he like had us like get on the board and watch tape and things like that. And it was intense. It was intense actually. And then obviously we went to the field and did some drills and things like that. I think he put the linebackers through the drills, and we had some other guy put me and Vaughn and Eli through other drills, but he had the pencil for sure.
Okay.
That's his thing.
And my second question, in your last trip to the Woody Hayes Athletic Center, which might have been last weekend because that's where you had to park for our Stadium Series show on Lane Avenue. Did you see a pencil sharpener?
I didn't park at the Woody. I parked at the Convelli Center.
Man, I don't know if too many people know the difference. In terms of that location, it's about the same area.
They're adjacent from each other.
There you go. So, my question. Do you think there's a pencil sharpener at the Woody Hayes Athletic Center? Or do you think he's got one of those like handheld ones that you carried around with you in elementary school? At any given moment, you're just sharpening the pencil. And then what do you do with the pencil shavings? These are only questions idiots like me have.
I'm going to tell you right now, I don't believe there's a pencil sharpener at the Woody Hayes.
Just not one that's like screwed into a desk.
What I will say is I do think that he probably has an electric one in his office that he probably brought with him. He plugs in and
And imagine by now you can get one on Amazon that just a AA battery and it does it right there for you and collects the shavings.
That'd be nice.
I stopped
That's the
using
worst thing when you drop that handheld one and you drop it and the shavings go
everywhere. Yeah.
Oh man, it's the worst.
Also, when you like pull out if it's the one on the desk and you pull out the tray and it's been too stuffed and shavings everywhere. I stopped using pencils. This was in middle school because all the standardized testing growing up in Ohio, you had to have a number two pencil.
Yeah.
But I'm left-handed. So as I'm writing with a pencil, my hand just smears all across the page. So anytime we had to write something that was more than a paragraph, or anytime we had to do those bubble scantrons, I just had lead all on the left side of my left hand. And so I would try to learn how to do it with my right hand, try to be ambidextrous. It's tough. It's very difficult. It's less so with a pen. You still at times will get smearings, ink smearings. Are you trying to do lefty?
I've never tried.
Because you're a righty.
Yeah, I've never tried it. First of all, I don't know if I could even write left.
It's difficult for someone to write with their non-dominant hand. This for Ohio State, though, I think should give fans a lot of excitement. This should make fans excited to see a person like Matt Patricia as it's very tough. I wish we could. Well, I don't know how the zoom feature on our cameras works, but to see Tyvis in his left-handed scribblings, but to see a person that's that energized, that's as healthy as Matt Patricia, I think's ever looked. I mean, because we only really have reference of him as a New England Patriots assistant.
He was hefty.
Hefty man. Now he looks lighter.
Yes.
He looks more energetic. I always appreciate it when a guy talks with their hands because it means they're excited and they have great passion for what they're doing. And that's, I think, what you need, especially when you're coaching 18 to 22-year-olds who, sure, you can come in and say, I've got these Super Bowl rings, I've got all this experience, I know all of these things, but they'll connect much better with passion.
Well, I mean,
much better with energy.
He's going to have the respect from a lot of players off the bat.
From jump.
Yeah, because of what he did with the Patriots and all of those things. And he's been to the NFL. He knows what it takes to get to the NFL. And he's going to teach me how to get to the NFL. So it's like having James there, having Tim there. Those guys, they've been at the level. They've played at that level. And they know what it takes to get there. So instantly a player in college is going to cling to their every word. Now,
you talk about cling. Those shavings get all over. Those pencil shavings, when you spill it, they're clinging to your pants, your sweatshirt.
It is annoying. That's why I went straight to mechanical.
Pencil's a bold choice, man.
I went to mechanical pencils. Anyways, but the thing about him is he's got to have some energy and some passion behind it as well. That's how you really get special. First thing a player wants to know is, how are you going to make me better? What are you going to do to enhance my game? Once you get to that, they're going to hang on to your every word. They're going to believe everything you say. If you go out there and say, this is where your eyes need to be. You've been looking at the running backs. You need to look at this tight end. It's going to allow you to play faster and see what's going to happen faster. And that player goes out there and looks at that tight end and boom, he's making plays. He's going to be like, oh my goodness, this guy has made it unbelievably clear for me. So now whatever you say, he's going to hang on to it like, oh yeah, if he already taught me that and helped my game increase like that, then he's just giving me more things to put in my tool bag. So that's the type of relationship he has to create with these players.
And here's Ryan Day talking about why Matt Patricia made sense for Ohio State's defensive coordinator spot.
Felt like Matt was that guy for a lot of reasons. I think the first one is his experience. Coaching 19 years in the NFL. He's coached in 6 Super Bowls, has 3 Super Bowl rings. But also, pairing him with Tim Walton as a co-coordinator, pairing him with Larry Johnson, Matt Guerrieri, James Laurinaitis. That was important to have continuity. And so part of that was having somebody that was willing to work with the guys that were in the room. That was very important. And I just want to make sure that I, really praise the guys in that room. And, having Tim Walton as a co-coordinator there is a huge part of our defense.
I think it's really important with Matt Guerrieri and Tim Walton because you bring a lot of the things that worked last year. You bring a lot of the things that worked with Jim Knowles' system, and you marry them with what Matt Patricia wants to do, and you add in all of the talent that you've got. This factors to be, on paper and principle, a really successful follow-up to the Silver Bullet caliber defense you had last year. Even replacing 8 starters.
I agree. The one thing that keeping those other guys, why that's so important is Matt Patricia don't know the team.
Right.
So he might come in and be trying to do the same thing that Jim Knowles did, where he's trying to make sure everybody's in their perfect call and all those things. And those other coaches will be like, listen, we tried that last year. Our players, this made them play slow. This is why Oregon happened, because they were confused. So they're going to be like, let's simplify this. Let's get this to a way where they don't have to think as much, and we can still get them to do the same things we want them to do. That's the biggest challenge that I think Matt Patricia faced, but it's nice to have Matt Guerrieri, Tim Walton, and all those guys there to be like, listen, this is how you got to explain it to these guys for them to understand what you're trying to get across.
Could Ross Bjork be signaling a breakup with the NCAA? We'll discuss next. It's Sports Saturday on The Fan.
Bo Bishop is a media legend. We have no idea where the other guys came from. Bishop and Friends.
Weekdays from 9 to noon.
The Fan.
Hi, welcome to IKEA. Look at that selection of outdoor furniture. Yeah, whatever your space or budget, you'll find a setup for outside. How about an outdoor chaise lounge for my get some sun side? Yeah, and a table for my come on over, I'm grilling side. And outdoor lights for my date night on the patio side. Ooh, you're good. I try. We've got what you need to create an outdoor oasis. Plus, delivery starts at $19 when you shop online or choose to pick up at your local store today.
Go to IKEA-USA.com for more details. Restrictions apply. Some products may require assembly.
1-800-GOT-JUNK is your friend with the truck.
We make junk disappear.
All you have to do is point.
All our people are in uniforms.
And our trucks are clean and shiny.
And big.
We leave spaces empty and clean.
For you.
1-800-GOT-JUNK.com.
A pepperoni pizza for the table.
Thank you.
May I suggest trying it with our Pepsi Zero Sugar? It has just the right amount of sweetness to complement all that cheesy, saucy goodness, while the carbonation and notes of citrus enhance the flavor profile. Simply divine.
Pepsi Zero Sugar? You've really outdone yourself this time. Pizza deserves Pepsi.
Hey there, friends. Bo Bishop here. As football winds down, college basketball is gearing up, and fans are ready to see which teams will prove they are ready to shine in March and who will be seen in San Antonio. You can get on all the action from tip-off to the final whistle at ESPN Bet Sportsbook. Right now, new ESPN Bet Sportsbook customers can bet $10 and get $100 back in bonus bets and unlock 30 days of ESPN Plus. Download the app. Sign up with the promo code Radio100 to get started today. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details.
At Rocket, we believe everyone deserves their shot at the American dream. So if you're feeling locked out of home ownership, we're here to give you back the keys. We're opening doors, breaking down walls, and doing everything we can to turn renters into owners. And we're not going to stop until we help everyone home. To find out more, visit rocket.com. Rocket, own the dream.
Why pay more for prescriptions? Stop overpaying and start saving with SingleCare. It's easy. Find your prescription on singlecare.com, show the coupon at the pharmacy, and start saving. SingleCare works at pharmacies nationwide and is completely free to use, whether you have insurance or not. So the next time you fill a prescription, check SingleCare to make sure you're getting the best price. Take control of your prescription costs. Go to singlecare.com or download the free app today.
The Open Season Sportsman's Expo, presented by Progressive and Can-Am, March 14 to 16, heads to the Ohio Expo Center. Tickets on OpenSeasonSportsman'sExpo.com. Buy early and save. Be sure to check out Tacticam and Toyota Tundra, official cell cam and truck of the Expo.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
And I'm Cole Bartimus. We got a pretty big basketball day happening with a particular university in this town. Let's start with the men. The Buckeyes will be in Bloomington taking on the Hoosiers this afternoon. It will be a 3:45 tip. If you want to hear that game on the radio, we got you covered right here on The Fan. If you would like to watch that game, you can catch it on 10 TV. And if you want the best of both worlds, you can pause your TV and time it up with your radio to watch the game while Paul Keels is on the call. This will be the final regular season game of the Buckeyes season. A win would put them at 500 in conference play heading into the Big Ten tournament next week. Now watch, here comes a cute radio transition. Speaking of the Big Ten conference tournament, the Ohio State women won their first game of the tournament last night. They got the double bye, so they had to wait a while, but they drew the Iowa Hawkeyes and beat them 60-59. Cody McMahon sunk a pair of free throws to give them the win in the end. They're back at it today against UCLA at 5:30. Breaking sports news when it happens on The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
During weekend programming, pants are optional.
Look at my butt!
However, leather chairs may have been a bad choice. You're listening to Fan Sports Saturday.
When I tell you Brad Marchand is now a Florida Panther, Tyvis Powell, what do you think? That doesn't do it for you?
Who is that?
That was probably the biggest. That was probably the biggest bit of news yesterday from the NHL's trade deadline. It came and went at 3:00. The Blue Jackets did make a move, acquiring 27-year-old centerman Luke Kunin from the San Jose Sharks. CBJ sent a 4th-round pick to San Jose in exchange for him. Kunin's a guy that can play a couple different positions on your front line, a depth guy, an older, 27. He's one of the older guys. He will be one of the older guys in the room.
Okay.
The Jackets were in a spot yesterday where they didn't really have to do anything. I think the one thing from this week was we wanted to get the Matthew Olivier extension done. And so they lock him up for 6 more seasons.
Talking about the guy that beats up
fights everybody.
He does not lose.
And you thought maybe if there was going to be a deal you couldn't refuse for Ivan Provorov, then you would deal him. But if that didn't come for Don Waddell, for Dean Evison, then you keep him through this season and you try to get a contract extension or some sort of new deal done at the offseason. But to not mess up or to not mix up anything from the current room that the Jackets have was key, and they did that yesterday.
You say he play what now? What position?
He's a centerman traditionally, but can play right and left wing. So a utility guy, has played a lot of NHL, played for a lot of NHL teams. This season he's played 63 for the Sharks, 11 goals and 7 assists.
I've been playing a lot of NHL 25 on my PlayStation, so
do you play against other people like on the PlayStation Network, or is it just you versus computer?
I haven't told you about this.
No.
Listen, I played this team yesterday. We did 3-on-3s. We didn't do 6s. We did 3-on-3. These were the best players I've ever seen in my life. Like, I've been playing this game for about a month now, and it's fun because we're still trying to get good at it, you know. So we're like competing to be good with the slap shots, with the deacon, and all these things. This dude that I played yesterday, he was incredible. We couldn't stop the guy. Like, he had a hat trick, no kidding, in like the first 2 minutes of the game. It was unreal. I said, like how I am in Call of Duty or 2K, that's how he is
in that.
In NHL. Like, it's unbelievable.
So now the shoe's on the other foot, where you're used to dishing out that sort of stuff. And
but you know what? I liked it, though. It's still fun. But I say all that to say I've been learning hockey through NHL.
Well, good. This is a good time, I think, to learn the game going into a playoff run for the Blue Jackets. They currently sit with the first wild card spot in the Eastern Conference. Just a point separates them from the Ottawa Senators and the New York Rangers. Jackets are in New York to play the aforementioned Rangers tomorrow at 6 o'clock. Looking to hold a 2-game slide. For the CBJ this week, I thought the most important thing was keeping the room together unless you got a gigantic deal or a gigantic offer for Provorov, getting Matthew Olivier extended. They had the game in Tampa on Tuesday, didn't go well. The game in Sunrise against the Panthers Thursday, they got shut out. But those two teams, that's the standard in hockey.
Yeah.
Right now for the Blue Jackets, you're not close to that standard. And it showed on the ice, especially with the hangover from that Stadium Series matchup that's also affected the Detroit Red Wings, who are on a very poor slide.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you like to do the measuring test and see where you are, but you know, it just shows you that you got some room to grow. You got room to work. And obviously you can't do that. You can try to grow as much as you can this season and try to get as far as you could go this season. But when you're talking about the cup, like that's, yeah, we got some stuff to fix, and it's going to take maybe a couple more years.
So I talked about the Marchand deal to the Florida Panthers. The Bruins get back a conditional second-round pick. It could become a first-round pick if the Panthers win 2 rounds in the playoffs and Marchand spends at least appears in 50% of those playoff games. The Panthers are one of 2 favorites to win the Stanley Cup, so it's probably going to become a first-round pick in like 26 or 27 for the Boston Bruins. He's been with them for 16 seasons. So for Bruins fans, like, they don't know a team without Brad Marchand. So that was really surprising yesterday to see that happen. Also was not too surprising was Mikko Rantanen. He goes to the Dallas Stars just 6 weeks after being acquired by the Carolina Hurricanes from the Colorado Avalanche. So in one season, a player of that caliber is going to be playing for 3 teams.
He's the problem.
Well,
that's when you look in the mirror and say, maybe it's me.
When Carolina had acquired him, it was with the hope he would sign a long-term extension. They could not get one together by Friday's deadline, so the fear for the Hurricanes was, we can't let him walk for nothing.
I got you. Smart.
But then Dallas comes in and signs him to an 8-year, $96 million extension. So it might have been Carolina.
So let me get this right. Hold on, let me get this right. No, stop. Because I've seen this, and this is the first time that I've seen somebody trade somebody before they let them walk, when they got a good, talented player. Recently, it was Shohei Ohtani. They decided to just let the season play off and let him walk for nothing. at least they got something out of this
I agree
deal.
with
Like
you.
maybe he would have signed with Carolina or Carolina. Maybe not. Who cares? Who knows? All I know is they got something out of this deal, and I applaud them for that.
And it's a situation I think the Cincinnati Bengals are finding themselves with Trey Hendrickson. The year after he leads the league in sacks, you're not able to come to terms on a new deal for him.
You could trade him.
So they're letting him seek out a trade partner.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. To the point of let this guy go find or let him or let you find the best deal that you can get something so he doesn't walk for nothing. Maybe that's the situation Cincinnati finds themselves in after this upcoming season with T. Higgins. He got the second tag 2 weeks ago. We'll get into some NFL discussion later on in this hour of the program. But Ross Bjork, the athletic director for Ohio State, was on with Morning Juice, and boy, does he have a lot in front of him.
Yeah.
But that's what the money's for. And that's what the kind of position of prestige gets you when you're working at Ohio State. And I think the biggest thing in the immediacy is on July 1, schools will be going into revenue sharing. So it's about 22% of their annual revenue they can divide amongst their however many Division I sports. Now, Ohio State's got 36 of them. So when you talk about the Bengals and that pie that they like to use in terms of the salary cap, the Buckeyes have a big pie, but they got a lot of different slices if they don't want to get taken to court for any sort of Title IX violations. And then you wonder, well, how does the NCAA factor into all of this? And when Ross was on with Morning Juice, he seemed to insinuate that it might not be the NCAA dealing with things like revenue share.
There is going to be a new entity that is being created right now as we speak, that the Autonomy 4 conferences will oversee and govern. And if you opt into the house case settlement rules of engagement and you will revenue share and you have roster limits, there'll be a new entity that will govern the revenue share cap. It will govern NIL. It will have rules of enforcement on if you violate the cap, here's what that means. If you do an NIL third-party agreement that doesn't meet the clearinghouse standards, that could be a violation. If you pay under the table, like the old school days, right? Those things could be violations. So there's going to be things that are housed in this A4 entity that are rules. There'll be things that are still left kind of on the NCAA side. How that merges and how that bridges, those mechanics are being worked out right now.
So when he talks about the money and this new entity controlling the money, I ask, then what's the NCAA for? Because if you control the money, you have the power in this.
Well, you're letting them off the hook.
You're getting rid of. You're basically letting them exist, but only to do whatever they were doing before, and that's maybe manage the Olympic sports and the basketball tournament.
Yeah. I mean,
but the money is going to be.
Listen, they've completely took their hands off. They got settled.
This is just the first time I've seen or I've heard a major decision maker in college athletics say something like that.
But you needed that, though. You needed, because it is what it seemed like was the NCAA was not going to help. So they the conferences got together and said, we're going to do this amongst ourselves to try to keep this thing as fair as possible. Because obviously you see how NIL goes. You hear all the stories about, they're giving them this money, that money, this money, that, which is great for the athlete. I have no problem with that. But obviously, OU and them can't do nothing about that, or the Purdue's of the world can't compete with those states and stuff like that. So maybe this is a way to try to keep it fair, as fair as possible without the NIL stuff. But as far as the revenue sharing goes, this is the best way to try to keep it as fair as possible. If that makes sense.
It does. One thing, how dare you dunk on the Bobcats? Number two, dunking on Purdue.
The MAC champion Bobcats.
Thank you. Purdue was a school that was invoked by Ross Bjork in his appearance with Morning Juice. I'll tell you what he had to say about the Boilermakers coming up next. It's Sports Saturday on The Fan.
We're the girthiest radio station in the history of radio. Uncomfortably girthy. This promo is uncomfortable. The Fan, Ohio's girth destination.
Welcome to Nada Yada Island.
Next on Metro's Nada Yada Island podcast.
I almost fainted when the 4 new bombshells arrived. 4 free Samsung Galaxy A16 5G phones at Metro.
No way.
And finding out the 4th line is free. Oh, things got heated.
That's wild. Join Metro and get 4 free Samsung 5G phones. Only at Metro.
Plus tax. Bring 4 numbers and an ID and sign up for any Metro Flex plan. Not available currently at T-Mobile or been with Metro in the past 180 days.
The best matchup this month
is you in a new ride. From Coughlin Ford, get a new 2024 Ford F-150 with prices as low as $45,940. Or buy a new 2024 Super Duty starting at under $49,000 during Ford Truck Month. Visit CoglinFord.com.
All factory rebates to dealer. All prior sales excluded. In-stock units only. No security deposit required. Residency restrictions may apply. See dealer for details. Ends 3/31/25.
Hoops fans, are you ready to score big and get lucky this March? What's up? It's T-Bone. I'm here to tell you that Bud Light will be holding mini hoops challenges at bars and restaurants across town over the next several weeks with one goal in mind: to send one lucky local winner to Las Vegas where they'll compete for $10,000. Take your shot at March Madness glory. This week, join Bud Light on Thursday night as they take over Pastimes New Albany on North Hamilton Road. They'll be there from 8 to 10 p.m., and they'll have a mini hoops basketball challenge that'll give you a shot at a Vegas trip and $10,000.
Roll Up to Win is back at Tim Hortons. We're rolling out great prizes like a 2025 Ford Bronco, $500 daily jackpots, Xboxes, and more. You can earn rolls with your purchase of an eligible hot or cold beverage and favorite breakfast item. A whole new way to earn rolls this year. Visit your neighborhood Tim's and download the app for great food and more opportunities to roll up to win. No purchase necessary. Tim Hortons app required. See rules on app for details. Entered by 3/23/25. Sponsored by Tim Hortons.
Meet the new Monopoly Bonus Spectacular Scratch-Offs from the Ohio Lottery. Scratch off greenhouses to reveal winning numbers for a chance at over $113 million in total cash prizes. That's a spectacular amount of winnings. 5 games from $1 to 20. Multipliers from 5 to 100 times. Chance bonuses and top prizes up to $1 million. When you play the Monopoly Bonus Spectacular Scratch-Offs, what you find under a greenhouse could change everything. Monopoly is a trademark of Hasbro. Lottery players are subject to Ohio laws and commission regulations. Play responsibly.
The Red Clay Strays, live. Get Right Tour. August 12th, Kimba Live Outdoor. A night of sultry southern rock. On sale now at the Penn Station box office and online at AXS.com. The Red Clay Strays, brought to you by Promo West Productions.
Bobby Carpenter once sold workout equipment on QVC Canada. There's no joke here. That actually happened. Morning Juice with Bobby and Beamer.
Weekdays starting at 6.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Are you turning 65? Are you looking for Medicare Advantage coverage? Great news! The Ohio State Health Systems and Mount Carmel Health Systems are in our provider network. Aetna has Medicare Advantage plans that include prescription drug coverage with a $0 monthly plan premium. Plus, the plans include benefits like dental, vision, and hearing. Call Aetna today at 1-888-76-AETNA to learn more. One of our licensed agents will answer your call. Call today, 1-888-76-AETNA. Aetna Medicare is an HMO PPO plan with a Medicare contract. Our D-SNPs also have contracts with state Medicaid programs. Enrollment in our plans depends on contract renewal. Plan features and availability may vary by service area. Participating healthcare providers are independent contractors and are neither agents nor employees of Aetna. The availability of any particular provider cannot be guaranteed, and provider network composition is subject to change. Other physicians, providers are available in our network. Home values in Columbus are sky high, and you have a ton of equity. Your financial advisor thinks the market has peaked. So if you're thinking about selling, it's time. Except for 2 things. High interest rates will burn you on a new home loan, and you're not ready to move. Savvy financial advisors suggest Truehold's new Sell and Stay program. It's ingenious because they buy your home now while its value is high, but you can stay in your home as long as you want with an easy, affordable lease. Smart, right? Truehold will make you a solid cash offer, not a lowball offer like the others. It's based on your home's current value. The cash is yours to travel, pay off bills, or secure your retirement. And again, you can stay in your home with a comfortable lease. Truehold covers property taxes, insurance, and maintenance. See how much Truehold will pay for your home today. Call 1-855-300-9993 or visit Truehold.com. The smarter, faster way to cash out your home's value without moving. That's Truehold.com.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
We will see clouds clear out and see a little bit more sunshine going into the day. We'll see highs in the low 40s with winds right around 5 to 15 miles per hour. For tonight, skies will be mostly clear and chilly as our lows drop around the low 30s. And then as we get into your Sunday, get ready. Even warmer weather on the way as our highs get into the low 50s with plenty of sunshine. For the Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfalo with your 10 weather impact forecast.
Buckeye games have been airing on WBNS since before you were born and before your parents were born. And before Abraham Lincoln was born. Trust me. Your home of the Buckeyes, the Fan. Live, local, and still slightly drunk.
I'm not drunk, all right? I just have a speech impediment.
This is Fan Sports Saturday.
So you talk about fairness. And what was done when the 12-team college football playoff was created was to try to make it fair for everybody. I think they overthought it in regards to we've got to give all of the Power 5 conferences, now the Power 4, as Ross Bjork calls it, the Autonomy 4. We got to give them all the same seat at the table. We've got to include Notre Dame. We've got to include a group of 5 champion. And with the payouts, well, we've got to, what your conference gets, you have to share equally amongst the members of your conference because it's fair. We got to make it fair for everybody. And you heard Ross in that you heard Tyvis in the last segment say, well, yeah, Ohio State's getting the same kind of playoff payout as a Purdue.
Yeah.
As a Rutgers.
Yep.
Well, that's just because it's fair, because they're members of your conference, and you've got to divide it evenly. Well, Ross Bjork joined Morning Juice, which is a program you can listen to on this very station weekdays, 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. He talked about in the future how the revenue sharing will look like based off of things that they experimented with in this first edition of an expanded college football playoff.
What did Coach Day say? Champagne problems? Congratulations, you won a national championship. Now, it costs more money. You've got to keep investing, all those kind of things. But no, we'll take those champagne problems for sure. You know, we will have an ancillary impact of increased revenue that we did not budget for. We'll make a little money on the home football playoff game. There's licensing revenue. There's things like that. We actually had some ticket fee revenue that we'll make through the playoffs. We receive a stipend, a travel stipend to go to the Rose Bowl, the Cotton Bowl. We pretty much max out. It's expensive. It's expensive to fly on these planes and the meals and those kind of things. So that's kind of a wash. And then there will be an uptick in Big Ten distribution based on the fact that you had those 8 units. The Big Ten always budgets for kind of a moderate amount. We exceeded that, so there'll be an uptick in Big Ten revenue for this year. But to your point, that gets spread. Purdue will make the same money that we made in terms of that Big Ten distribution. So there will be an impact. And then you have the trailing effect. Fundraising, ticket sales. Right now, our renewal rate is over 90%.
There's a nice little thing you got in at the end there where season ticket renewals at 90% and you're into March. National championship will do that.
It will.
But
guys are excited about these Buckeyes.
Before that, he talks about the revenue sharing and how with the Big Ten, they get everything, or they get an even share from Ohio State doing the yeoman's work.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's going to be the case when you expand into 14 and probably into 16. But
No.
Why not? It's not fair.
What do you mean it's not fair?
Why does Ohio State get more money?
I'm talking about the expansion of 14 to 16.
Oh, you don't want the playoff to expand?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. As far as the money goes, I mean, Ohio State should take at least, if they going to take money, like, I would at least give them at least 80%. They're doing the work. Just saying.
You're good at 12?
Yes. I was good at 4.
Let me see if I can find the right one.
Obviously, expansion helped us, right? Yeah. You know, if you're 10-2 in years past, you're not in, right? And there's been some great Buckeye teams that just maybe stubbed their toe at the end, but we're probably the best team in the country, you know, talent-wise and things like that. So definitely expansion helped us. So, and even before I got to Ohio State, being at Texas A&M.
That's not it. He talks about expansion.
If we need to expand further to get maybe automatic qualifying spots, SEC and Big Ten have been pushing for that. That's okay. I think we can be healthy at 14, maybe 16. 16 has some complications based on TV windows and things like that.
Your eyes couldn't have rolled any further back into your skull.
It's ridiculous.
They'd be halfway down your spine.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, he said it.
I don't agree with him.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. It does feel
I don't agree with
increasingly
him. I think
unlikely.
I'm okay to say I could do that.
It feels increasingly unlikely they're going to get 14.
If they get 14, okay, now what? You get more
this year?
You got more two more SEC schools in there? Oh,
that's the hope.
Ooh,
that's what they want. That means more money.
The throne is gone. Okay, if you want to get more Big Ten teams in there, okay, you sell me on that.
They want to do both.
No, and it's like,
I think you need.
What other team deserve to be in? This is the thing. Like, okay, I get the fact that you stub your toe at the yes. Okay, that's happened. Yes. If you lose 3 games, it's done. Take the L out of Lover. It's over, brother. Like, it's done. Stop. Why are we trying to force? Because they got brand. Because
it's not
of the
fair.
It's the brand. Oh, Alabama should have been in.
Their strength of schedule was so much better.
Alabama would have got in. They got rolled by the Wolverines.
They got rolled by Oklahoma. People really forgot. It felt like people at the end of the season forgot about that game against Oklahoma.
They got rolled by the Oklahoma. They got rolled by the Wolverines. But yet you want them to be in this?
It's conversations like that and the one we're having now that lead me to believe we're going to stick with 12 in 2025. So the 2026 national championship game will be the last year of a 12.
The way the fans was comparing, these games are not competitive in the first
round. The atmosphere, it was so I like the 12-teamer.
So why, if it's not competitive in the first round, why would you put more teams in?
You think adding teams?
Yeah, that's going to make it more competitive.
It will not. It will make it worse.
My point
you
exactly.
want a more competitive postseason. You've got to make the line shorter to get into the club.
This is not basketball. In basketball, there is Cinderella teams that make these long runs. In football, that ain't happening. It's just not. It's just not going to happen like that. You're not about to get no 16 seed or, 14 seed that's going to come out there and just roll the playoff. It's just not going to happen.
Tyvis, you never know.
Oh, yes,
you got to give them a chance.
Oh, yes, I do.
Yeah.
In this case, yes, I do.
It'll be, I think, better for the overall product of the playoff when the Big Ten and the SEC have more control because they'll be able to throw their weight around a little bit better than they are right now. Right now, if you want to make any changes, you've got to be unanimous on it.
I don't know. What, we get 4 Big Ten teams in Indiana?
Yes, Indiana, Ohio State, Penn State,
Oregon. Who would have even been the 15? That you would have been
on the top of my head, I don't know right
now. That's my point.
And would have been deserving? No, probably not. But we're not talking about deserve. We're talking just about numbers.
We got
more. More.
Yeah, we got to stop.
Well, unfortunately, they're not stopping.
I know that. I get it.
Will it ever get to 64? No, but boy, they'd like to see.
It might. It's all about the almighty dollar.
Remember a couple weeks ago, we talked about those play-in games for the Big Ten and the SEC?
Yeah, more,
baby.
Get rid of the Big Ten championship.
You keep the Big Ten championship, but you would make the play-in games between like the 3 and the 4
and the 5 and the 6.
Sure, those would also be for playoff positioning.
Okay, that's all right. That's fine, but don't tell me you want 6.
Oh no, then you
there.
would.
Yeah.
Then you would still expand, though. Is what they would like. It's all about more, baby.
No. See, this is sad because
you're not wrong.
I agree with the make 3 or 4 or 5 and 6 play. Okay, that's fine. But to put in extra teams that don't deserve it, like, what's the point of the regular season then?
I do think one of the changes you'll see is how they seed, how they rank and seed the teams for the 2025 college football playoff.
I just don't want the regular season to lose meaning. That's what you see that happen in the NBA.
Sorry, friend.
You see that happen in baseball. Like, it's becoming to the point where the regular season is becoming meaningless. And now you just got guys, now your ratings is down during the season because, it doesn't matter because everybody's going to the playoffs anyway. That's when the real football will start. No, I don't want to do that. You're losing integrity of the game. Like, make the games meaningful. Make them matter. That's why back when it was 4, it mattered. Every game, everybody's locked in every game because this matters. Now, if you making it so far that everybody can make the playoffs, well, what's the point of playing a regular season?
Illinois would have been the 5th Big Ten team.
Yeah. Okay.
They had some wins last year.
They would have ran.
I couldn't name one of them.
Ran the table. They'd have ran the table and made it all the way to the championship.
It will, to your point, I think it does make it less, but they want more. And they will always be asking for more. And by that, I mean the TV partners for the conferences.
You know how you've
signed these media rights deals. You're at their behest. And
all you have to do is play one non-conference Big Ten versus
that could
SEC.
Be a Big Ten SEC challenge.
That would the ratings from that would be unbelievable.
It'd be a one-off. I do think the SEC is going to 9 conference games. So I think that's a good way to mitigate some of the meaningfulness of a regular season. but we're going to more games, buddy. We're going to more postseason games. And to Ross's point, again, if you missed that conversation, it was a great conversation that Ross had with Bob and to a lesser extent Tito. Watch it on our YouTube feed. Go look it up on the podcast because he does talk about the college football calendar and the potential for moving that a little earlier in August to kind of make room for all of this more that they'd like. Mm-hmm. He also talks about Jake Diebler and the job that he's done in his first season with the basketball Buckeyes. And the cut's a little long for the time that we have allotted here, but it's the first time I've heard anybody mention Michie Johnson. And what Ross Bjork says, and I'm paraphrasing, is that they haven't had Michie for the whole season when they expected him to. They didn't have Aaron Bradshaw for the full season when they expected him to. Yep. So the job that Jake Diebler has done has met with the expectation of just hang around in March. And right now, this basketball team is hanging around, holding on for dear life to that bubble spot. The latest ESPN bracketology has Team 126 as one of the last 4 buys into the big dance. So they'd avoid all of that Dayton nonsense. Another team with last blank is Indiana, who ESPN has a last 4 in. Well, the Buckeyes meet the Hoosiers today at 3:45. That game's at Assembly Hall. We'll have coverage on the Fan starting at 2:45. I'm interested to see the emotions of that game, considering what Ohio State and Indiana have to lose. But for the Hoosiers, this is it for Mike Woodson.
Well, they're trying to avoid playing in the Crown. Is that what it's
college basketball Crown?
Yeah, they're trying to avoid playing in the Crown.
I do think because of the point made earlier about bid stealers in some of those smaller tournaments and today's game, winner in, loser basketball. Start thinking about the college basketball Crown.
Yeah.
That'll be March 31st in Las Vegas. To the point that was made earlier about, Fox. You sign the contract with them. They demand 2 of your teams left out of the big dance have to go to Vegas for this. That's why your senior night's 9 o'clock on Peacock. You have signed these contracts with these television companies. They're going to demand things of you that
ludicrous.
Are pretty unsavory. I thought that's the best word to describe what Myles Garrett asked for this week. I think Jimmy Haslam did the right thing. I'll explain in 2 minutes. It's Sports Saturday on the Fan.
Looking to sell your home? Don't pay 6% commission. Call my guys at Sell for 1% Realtors. They're full service, not a do-it-yourself kind of thing. On average, customers save over $10,000. Give them a call, 614-451-6616. That's 451-6616.
For a limited time at Verizon, you can get our best price ever for a single line. Just $45 per month when you bring your phone, which is less than you spend on Too Tired to Cook takeout every week. Get 1 line on unlimited welcome for $45 per month with autopay plus taxes and fees. Visit your local Columbus Verizon store by April 2nd to save. $20 monthly promo credits applied over 36 months with a new line on unlimited welcome. In times of congestion, unlimited 5G and 4G LTE may be temporarily slower than other traffic. Domestic data roaming at 2G speeds. Additional terms apply.
Bobby Carpenter here for Germain Toyota. Swing by Germain Toyota and ask for Marcello and discover unbeatable deals and a wide selection of new and certified pre-owned Toyota vehicles. Visit them at germaintoyota.net. Germain Toyota on the corner of I-70 and Bryce Road.
At Rocket, we believe everyone deserves their shot at the American dream. So if you're feeling locked out of home ownership, we're here to give you back the keys. We're opening doors, breaking down walls, and doing everything we can to turn renters into owners. And we're not going to stop until we help everyone home. To find out more, visit rocket.com. Rocket, own the dream.
Why pay more for prescriptions? Stop overpaying and start saving with SingleCare. It's easy. Find your prescription on singlecare.com, show the coupon at the pharmacy, and start saving. SingleCare works at pharmacies nationwide and is completely free to use, whether you have insurance or not. So the next time you fill a prescription, check SingleCare to make sure you're getting the best price. Take control of your prescription costs. Go to singlecare.com or download the free app today.
Here's a listener tweet. Can I tase Common Man in the nuts? Fine by us, but he may like it. Common Man and Tebow.
Weekdays from 3 to 6.
The Fan. Garnish your Bloody Mary with sports talk. You're listening to Fan Sports Saturday.
All right, so NFL's legal tampering period starts on Monday. The new league year starts on Wednesday. So March 10th for legal tampering.
Sorry.
Whatever. And then the new league year starts on the 12th. That'll be the Wednesday when free agency officially begins and contracts can be signed from that legal tampering period that starts on Monday. It's why you saw the reporting earlier this week from Tom Pelissero, who had it first, of Myles Garrett asking for a one-on-one with Jimmy Haslam, which the reporting adds that Jimmy Haslam said, no, thank you. Mary Kay Cabot added that Jimmy offered a meeting with himself and Myles, but also Andrew Berry, Brown's general manager. That, in my opinion, is the right move for Jimmy Haslam to have made. Regardless of how you feel about the Haslam stewardship of the Cleveland Browns, regardless of how you feel of the job Andrew Berry's doing as general manager of the franchise, Jimmy Haslam made the right move by telling Myles, we're not meeting one-on-one. You can meet with Andrew Berry, or Andrew Berry can be in this meeting, but I'm not taking that with you because I'm not neutering my general manager. At least not explicitly neutering my general manager, because that's what that would have done.
I'm glad you
render Andrew Berry useless if it becomes just about Jimmy and Myles. Now, I get what Myles is trying to do because of that legal tampering period starting on Monday. Trey Hendrickson's on the market. Jonathan Allen's on the market. Max Crosby got paid. And so Myles has to kind of figure out where he's going to fit into all of this with teams that want to compete for a Super Bowl, but also a team that could pay similar to what Max Crosby got.
Yeah, I think that's why I think he ramped it up. Just because you think about all those teams that are in the business of looking for a pass rusher. Well, if Myles isn't available, then we got to go ahead and go somewhere else.
We can't wait around for this.
Yeah, we got to spend money on somebody in free agency. We got to make trades. We have to address the pass rushing situation. And we're talking about teams like the Philadelphia Eagles, the Commanders, the Lions. Those are like the three teams that want another pass rusher, that need a big-time pass rusher. And Myles obviously wants that because they're contenders. But if Myles isn't available, like I say, they got to do that through there. If they can't get it through free agency, then they're going to do it through the draft. Because guess what's in this draft? What's the number one position that they say is available? Edge rushers. If you need an edge rusher, this is the draft. There is just so many edge rushers. You could get Jack Sawyer, maybe even in the second round. That's how loaded this edge rushing class is. So think about that. So for Myles, he got into a panic where it's like, if these guys fill the void, then – because I think the Browns want to wait till June 1st.
Yes.
Because June 1st, his cap hit goes down, and they're able to, do things with that. If they trade him before that, they would have to restructure other deals and all this jazz that I just can't even think of right now. It's like 3 players that they got to restructure to even be over in the cap or whatever, under the cap. So I think that they want to wait till June 1st, and that's why Myles panicked. That's pretty much what it is.
Because I wonder and I think the Browns can trade Myles before June 1st. I think they've shown their willingness and ability to do cap gymnastics. It does feel like as we've entered silly season, that the cap is what teams want it to be. Mm-hmm. There's desire and ability. Like, can they make this move for Garrett, take the cap hit, and then just figure out some other contracts that make it work for them? Like, the Browns can't afford anybody this year.
No.
And they're still kicking the can down the road with Deshaun Watson's contract. Like, eventually that bill comes due.
Mm-hmm.
Helps, again, your owner has billions of dollars so that he can make those situations lesser in the immediacy.
He really be just writing a check.
Just writing the check.
$56 million here.
Yep.
Man, I love to see.
Works pretty good.
I tell you what, I love to see that check. I would love to just
take a look at it.
Somebody hand you a check for $56 million. Well, they probably direct deposit it, but still,
it goes into escrow.
That's one of them things where I want to still send me the physical copy.
And so for Cleveland, obviously best case scenario for them would be to draft a quarterback, maybe 2 quarterbacks, have one of them hit, get a low-priced veteran. Like, anybody that says they're in the Kirk Cousins or Sam Darnold business, I think is kidding themselves because of the money that's going to be asked for by those free agents.
Well, Sam Darnold is going to demand a nice penny.
As he should.
And he should. And everybody's talking about Seattle, which seems like it could be fitting for him. And Kirk Cousins, Atlanta came out the other day and said they don't have any intentions of trading Kirk Cousins. They don't want to trade him. So I don't really want Kirk Cousins anyway for the Browns. I think that with the Achilles injury last year, he wasn't mobile anymore. He was like a statue back there. And if you think about the Cleveland Browns offensive line, yeah, you got to do some avoiding. So with
just a little bit.
With that being said, I just don't think that that's the right fit. I'm more in the Joe Flacco, Jacoby Brissett's, because you got two guys that's been in this system. You're probably going to take a quarterback at 2. So if that's the case, I know Joe Flacco's come out and said, yeah, I'm not here to groom young quarterbacks.
He said that?
He said, I'm not, if a young quarterback I'm not here to mentor young quarterbacks. If they learn something from me, that's great, but that's not what I'm trying to do, which I totally get. But the thing is, you just did it with Anthony Richardson last year. Jacoby Brissett just did it with Drake May. These are two quarterbacks that under Kevin Stefanski, in Kevin Stefanski's system, did really well. I mean, you went out and you tried all these other quarterbacks, but those two guys did pretty darn good. And they're not the most athletic guys. They're not the most talented guys. Not Joe Flacco at this point of his career, but he still was able to look really good. He had some success. The number one thing that both of them were comfortable doing was putting their back to the defense. And what that means is they run play action. For some odd reason, especially when you deal with these younger quarterbacks, it's all spread in college. So their eyes is they're never play action in anything, because if they doing play action, it's like the little roll across, the running back comes across their face, but their eyes is still downfield, to where at some point you got to put your back to the defense if you want that play action to be good. And those two guys have been really good, and they need to teach that to the younger guys.
Best case scenario, I think, for this team, because Adam Schefter also came out and hinted that a Joe Flacco reunion with the Browns could be in the cards. You get a Joe Flacco veteran minimum, or you're paying him pennies on the dollar, and you're drafting 2 quarterbacks who you've got very affordable rookie contracts. One of those is successful for the next year or 2, and you can build a team around that and then be ready to go at that 28, 29 mark when you're trying to move into that new stadium that I guess is still up in the air. They haven't broken ground on it. Like, they're still trying to fight the city on that.
How long did it take, like 2 years to make a stadium? 4 years.
And I've never done it.
I think it's like 4 years, so they're going to have to,
You got to start thinking about that, is what I'm saying. So with their plans for this upcoming season, that has to be a factor, because if you're going to pay eventually the bill due for Deshaun Watson, you're going to hope you can do it with money made off of those nice little suites you sell, your season ticket packages.
Let me ask you a question.
Sure.
Let's say that the Browns went out. Let's say they got a Joe Flacco, right? Where are you at with DTR?
No.
Okay, you're done.
See you in the UFL, buddy.
Okay, all right. I'm glad you said that. So let's say they go get a Joe Flacco or Jacoby Brissett.
Just get Joe Flacco.
Whatever.
Don't complicate this anymore than you already have.
Whatever.
Okay.
Let's go get one of them. You draft a quarterback in this draft. And instead of drafting 2, what if you traded like a 5th or 6th for Joe Milton? Would you take that?
Sure.
Okay.
Just a body in the room that hasn't been there before. Because that's fine. Why does Joe Milton do it for you? I haven't heard that name in a year.
Because everybody's very high on, because of his last game with the Patriots, how he played really exceptionally well. He was with AVP, who probably ran a system similar to what you ran. So, like, I thought, like, if you feel like you can't get another quarterback, like the Will Howards of the world is gone, and you're not comfortable with like a Dylan Raiola. Now, why do I keep calling him that? Dylan Gabriel.
Dylan Raiola?
I keep thinking of him. Dylan Gabriel.
He could be available in 2 years.
I'm sure he could be. Then you could just take that low pick and get another quarterback that has experience, that's been in here, that's been in your system. So I just thought it was
Here is where I'm at with the Cleveland Browns. And the great thing about a Jackson Dart, a Joe Flacco, a Joe Milton, a Will Howard, a Dylan Gabriel, what they all have in common is they're not Deshaun Watson. That's where I'm at with this situation. As long as it's just not Deshaun, I don't care right now. Because there's part of me that thinks the Browns, they're at 2 this year. They're going to be in the top 5 next year. And that isn't a bad thing. No, as Diamond Dallas Page would say, it's a good thing.
To be in the top 5?
Well, 2 years in a row.
Are you going to be an Arch Manning, tank for Arch?
I don't necessarily know if you'll be in that situation, but if something can hit this year and you're not going to be, they're not going to be the worst team in the league, I don't think. So I don't think they're going to be in consideration for Arch Manning. I don't think they're going to be horrible.
You know the thing,
they're going to be bad, but they're going to be top 5 bad.
Isn't that
but like 4 or 5.
That's the greatest thing about the Browns. You never know.
It's true.
It could be I didn't
think 4-13 was coming, but here we are with that.
Wait, you say 4-13? I think they was 3-14.
Why do I keep giving them that win? I did that earlier this week too.
3 or 4. It was worse than
just
you thought.
Being a Browns fan has its severe negative effects on your psyche. We can talk about a team that's got loftier expectations, but unfortunately for you, Trey Hendrickson, there's just no pie available in the Queen City. That's next. It's Sports Saturday on The Fan.
The sound of Paul Keels calling a Buckeye game is erotic.
Oh, yes.
Your home of the Buckeyes, the Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Welcome to Nada Yada Island. Next on Metro's Nada Yada Island podcast.
I almost fainted when the 4 new bombshells arrived. 4 free Samsung Galaxy A16 5G phones at Metro.
No way.
And finding out the 4th line is free. Oh, things got heated.
That's wild. Join Metro and get 4 free Samsung 5G phones. Only at Metro.
Plus tax. Bring 4 numbers and an ID and sign up for any Metro Flex plan. Not available currently at T-Mobile or been with Metro in the past 180 days.
Home values in Columbus are sky high, and you have a ton of equity. Your financial advisor thinks the market has peaked. So if you're thinking about selling, it's time. Except for 2 things. High interest rates will burn you on a new home loan, and you're not ready to move. Savvy financial advisors suggest Truehold's new Sell and Stay program. It's ingenious because they buy your home now while its value is high, but you can stay in your home as long as you want with an easy, affordable lease. Smart, right? Truehold will make you a solid cash offer, not a lowball offer like the others. It's based on your home's current value. The cash is yours to travel, pay off bills, or secure your retirement. And again, you can stay in your home with a comfortable lease. Truehold covers property taxes, insurance, and maintenance. See how much Truehold will pay for your home today. Call 1-855-300-9993 or visit Truehold.com. The smarter, faster way to cash out your home's value without moving. That's Truehold.com.
At Diamonds Direct, we believe luxury is an experience and not a price tag. Luxury is expert guidance. It's the selection of 10 jewelry stores under one roof. It's saving time on endless comparison shopping, and you'll only find this experience at Diamonds Direct. Our luxury showroom has it all backed by our lifetime warranties and our signature best price guarantee. Diamonds Direct is the perfect combination of luxury and value, so you don't ever have to compromise. Learn more at diamondsdirect.com. Diamonds Direct, your love, our passion.
Get eco.
Hey, Aaron. Hey, Jerry. You know, as much as I enjoy being a professional inventor, a few of my dream inventions still elude me.
Oh, yeah? Like what?
Well, the bruiseless avocado.
Ooh.
The unlosable TV remote.
Could change the world.
And for you, Aaron, the uncloggable drain.
Get eco.
Until you crack it, Jerry. You know our 93 are free drain clearing offer is the next best thing.
Okay. Explain yourself.
Get eco.
Our drain team will clear your drain for just $93. If we can't clear it, it's free. And we guarantee it'll stay clear for at least a year, or we will clear it again for free.
Get eco.
We'll even send our little robot camera down there to make sure you don't have a larger problem that could cause more trouble in the future.
Get eco.
You think your guys could bring that robot over to my place and help me find that TV remote?
I think that's impossible even for us.
Get eco.
Eco, plumbers, electricians, and HVAC technicians.
GetEco.com.
The Fan app is about to become your new best friend. Your one-stop shop for all your favorite fan shows. ESPN Columbus and BetQL. Live or on demand, listen on your schedule. Download the 97.1 The Fan app today. It's free. Do it.
Need inspiration? Shop Kroger for mouth-watering meals and appetizing ingredients. Our low prices add up to big savings, plus over $600 in digital coupons each week, and up to $1 off per gallon at the pump. At Kroger, you always get big flavors and big savings. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
We've lowered prices. You can save 15% or more on hundreds of items like Thomas Mini Bagels, Campbell's SpaghettiOs, and more. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Greatness doesn't happen overnight. It takes time, focus, and dedication. At Shelter Insurance, we understand that because we put in the hard work and dedication for decades. And that commitment is paid off with award-winning customer service for your auto, home, and life insurance. Visit shelterinsurance.com and find an agent to help you choose the coverage you need. Shelter Insurance. We're your shield. We're your shelter.
Roll Up to Win is back at Tim Hortons. We're rolling out great prizes like a 2025 Ford Bronco, $500 daily jackpots, Xboxes, and more. You can earn rolls with your purchase of an eligible hot or cold beverage and favorite breakfast item. A whole new way to earn rolls this year. Visit your neighborhood Tim's and download the app for great food and more opportunities to roll up to win. No purchase necessary. Tim Hortons app required. See rules on app for details. Entered by 3/23/25. Sponsored by Tim Hortons.
Ready to be the change and have a positive impact on your community? Consider joining the Columbus Division of Police. Starting pay is $70,000 plus, growing to 6 figures after 4 years of service. We offer paid vacations, paid holidays, and health insurance. Do you aspire to complete your degree? We offer 100% tuition reimbursement after you complete your first year of service. Contact the CPD recruiting unit at jobs@columbuspolice.org or apply online at columbus.gov/government/jobs. The City of Columbus is an equal opportunity employer.
The Fan Poll is brought to you by Caster Connection. Visit CasterConnection.com to shop online or to work with our Caster Solution specialists.
We firmly believe it's appropriate to tailgate before a youth soccer game. You're listening to Fan Sports Saturday.
Tyvis, you and I did a Bishop and Friends a couple weeks ago. It's the Lifestyle, Leisure, and Sports program. You can catch on the Fan weekdays 9 to noon.
Look at you.
Where a listener on the YouTube chat, I think it was, came on and told us that a segment we did on the Cincinnati Bengals was cap. All cap. Because we had discussed the idea that the Bengals were not going to be able to do what Joe Burrow wanted. Yeah. And that was sign Jamar, sign T, extend Trey, new contract for Mike Gesicki. Mm-hmm. And I think it was Matt was his name. I was trying to dig back through and find it, and I couldn't. So Matt is now his name, if it wasn't before. That I would take a pie to the face on June 1.
You did say
if they were able to do everything. And I even gave Matt the free space of franchise tag for T. Higgins because everybody, their grandma knew that was probably going to happen. Mm-hmm. Earlier this week, Trey Hendrickson asked for and was given permission to seek a trade to another team, not the Cincinnati Bengals.
Yes.
I avoid the pie to the face.
Yes, you do. Well, the trade has to happen first.
The trade's likely to happen, though. Do you think?
I mean, not necessarily. He's still under contract.
So it could be a case of no pie for you the way you'd like it, but we'll talk about this next year then.
Yeah, he's still under contract for
one more year.
Season, so technically, if everything goes south, he'll be out there.
But it's not the contract, so I avoid the pie because
he said specifically sign
Trey Hendrickson to an extension.
You were going to avoid
that was the caveat I gave.
Oh, well, that was going to be the case anyways.
Then why were Bengals fans chirping at us like it was? For the past 20 years, the Cincinnati Bengals have told you who they are as an organization. And you thought, what, now because Joe Burrow did a media tour during the Super Bowl, it was going to change?
The same reason us Guardians fans get mad every year that they don't spend money on free agents. It's the same thing. Even though it's been literally since the beginning of time.
You see Tyler Naquin's going to pitch?
Yeah, I did.
Sign him as a pitcher? What are we doing that for?
They said he got a strong arm.
Of course he does. We've seen it, but only when he gets in like a 3-stride windup.
Our pitching staff needed a new challenge. You know, they said that.
Just get Carrasco out of the retirement home.
Our farm system ain't what it used to be. We ain't really got too many people down there in the farm system that's blowing people away. So they said we're gonna create somebody. And it's a minor. It's like it doesn't matter. Like if he pitches in the majors, it would be one of the greatest stories I've ever heard.
You've seen that a lot though. At least recently,
outfielder go to pitcher.
A position player just coming in and throwing a couple.
What's my dude? Who played catcher for us that was out there throwing them like that? What's the catcher? We had a catcher pitcher.
What, 2 years ago?
What is his name?
All right, well, you Google it.
Was it the Hedges?
I don't remember.
I think it might be Austin
Okay, well, use the Google machine and figure that out, man. I don't know. I want to talk about the Cincinnati Bengals real quick. I did not mean to deviate to that. That bounced into my head. I'm like, oh, yeah, that's a thing that's happening in Cactus League play. Also, Cincinnati Reds baseball available on ESPN Columbus and 97.1 The Fan all season long. Sam Hubbard did them a favor this week, I think, too, retiring and saving them $9.6 million against the cap. It was really interesting just to see all the love. Not interesting from a sense of I didn't see that coming, but when he tore his PCL back in December after catching a touchdown pass from Joe Burrow, you thought maybe his career had a couple more years left, considering the injury history that he had. But this, again, saves them a couple million towards the salary cap, so they've got a little bit bigger of a slice of pie maybe to offer Jamar Chase.
Yeah, I hate that it had to come to...
It sucks.
Yeah.
That's the way it had to happen.
I mean, I get it. I get the business part of it. Obviously, when you're doing business, you got to keep your personal feelings out of it. And, Sam has been nothing but a wonderful human being. Obviously, in the great state of Ohio, he's done some remarkable things in Columbus. and in Cincinnati. It's them injuries just it's hard to really come back from those injuries, especially like that. So I'm pretty sure they had that conversation and probably said, we might release you. You can retire, because of the health thing. And he probably was like, I don't really want to play for anybody else. I'll just retire.
So the thing now for the Bengals is they've got to replace both of their defensive ends. And the one thing that I think everybody had thought for this team was, all right, you got to, draft. You're going to draft them well defensively.
Yeah. How's that gone?
History's not on their side.
But guess what? Guess what, though? In this draft,
I do think
that's a lot of people that you can't just miss on.
That's what makes the Trey thing a little bit easier for Cincinnati.
That's what makes the Miles things comfortable.
I don't know if it's necessarily for the Browns. They're going to look to replace at that position.
They better.
You'd hope.
At some point in the draft, if this draft has 40 edge rushers in it, you better be able to get somebody. You got to at least
at 33.
You got to take a flyer on somebody.
Sure.
Because if not, you're marching out. Double O and Alex Wright is coming off of.
Sure. You could have just made up a name, and I'd be like, yeah, sure, he's on the Browns.
Oh my gosh. Our future is
I tell you what,
it's Alex Wright and Isaiah McGuire.
It's not our future. It's the Cleveland Browns' future. I'm just not interested in it.
You're not a fan?
No, I just want to talk about a team that actually has a decently bright future. There's light at two ends of the tunnel. For the Bengals, it's actually light that you can escape to. For the Browns, it's a train.
Oh my goodness.
Two different lights.
They have to do well in the
similar tunnel.
They have to draft defensive players and develop them correctly.
Both teams do.
Yes, they do.
Oh boy.
Oh man.
What's history told us about that?
I think that I believe when your back is against the wall, that's when the best of you comes out. Some people fight out of the corner. Some people just curl up and just go down. I believe that both of these organizations are fighters, and I believe that they will make the best decisions that they've made. Listen, they've already fired the defense coordinator. They got Al Golden is their new guy.
Shirt and tie. He sweats through.
So, sorry about that, Cole. Yeah. Y'all got Chris Ash.
Why are you apologizing? You're not the Cincinnati Bengals. Cameo.com/1Tyvis if you want a similarly motivational speech. I think you're still doing this for what, $20?
I just had to talk to these 8th grade kids and inspire them to do their homework.
Nice.
Yeah.
What was the message?
Homework is very important. It's something that no matter what it is that you want to do when you get older, like you have to at least complete school to do those things. So
did Cardale make a cameo in that video?
He needs to stay far away from it.
They paid $20 for that?
It was a great speech.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Well, can you give me some of the great speech?
Do your homework, Eric.
All right. There we go. See, that's what I'm looking for. I don't need an explainer. I need a motivator.
Did you not do your homework?
That's why I'm in radio,
I even gave them tips.
I was a horrible
how
student.
You can do your homework. Like me, when I was in school, I would get done. Once the teacher got done teaching, they give you your homework assignment, and I just do it right then and there. Like I got like 10 minutes roughly. I try to do as much as I can in that 10 minutes.
Because you were the consummate student. Like, you never missed a class at Ohio State.
That's correct.
You were never on the naughty list.
No.
What did they call that, where the player was not in good standing academically?
Academically ineligible.
Right. Well, no, I thought there was a better word for that, though. Like, I thought it was a word urban used.
It was a
like,
time,
for the group.
It was a time where I was about to be academically ineligible. I never told you that.
I thought you went to all your classes.
I did, but
wait a second. Do it next. It's Sports Saturday on The Fan.
During this 10-second promo, Rothman will lose money gambling on something.
People like you come here and blow the family nest egg that built this town.
Rothman and Ice.
Weekdays from noon to 3.
The Fan.
For a limited time at Verizon, you can get our best price ever for a single line. Just $45 per month when you bring your phone, which is less than you spend on Too Tired to Cook takeout every week. Get one line on Unlimited Welcome for $45 per month with autopay plus taxes and fees. Visit your local Columbus Verizon store by April 2nd to save. $20 monthly promo credits applied over 36 months with a new line on Unlimited Welcome. In times of congestion, unlimited 5G and 4G LTE may be temporarily slower than other traffic. Domestic data roaming at 2G speeds. Additional terms apply.
A Tim Hortons treat with Nutella is the perfect way to add a little joy to your day, whatever your day brings. Imagine reading your book with a smooth hazelnut mocha iced cap topped with Nutella, or tackling your to-do list with a delicious croissant filled with Nutella and whipped sweet cream. And when you're heading to the office, grab a hazelnut mocha iced coffee with cold foam, because there's nothing better than combining that irresistible Nutella taste with your favorite Tims. Treat yourself with the Nutella lineup, only at your neighborhood Tim Hortons. Limited time at participating U.S. restaurants, naturally and artificially flavored.
They're trained. They're fired up.
Let's do it.
When you need heat, they can't be beat. They're Ohio State's undefeated heating and cooling team. For plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling, there's only one team. The Waterworks. Better care, better value, better results. Call the Waterworks at 614-232-2222 or visit them online at thewaterworks.com. A proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Bobby Carpenter here for Germain Toyota. Swing by Germain Toyota and ask for Marcello and discover unbeatable deals and a wide selection of new and certified pre-owned Toyota vehicles. Visit them at germaintoyota.net. Germain Toyota on the corner of I-70 and Bryce Road.
Hi, this is Bob Masheter from Dick Masheter Ford. Thank you to all of Central Ohio as we head towards 60 years of doing business in the Buckeye State. Dad opened up in 1967 simply trying to offer a better way to buy a car, and we've been working ever since to serve our neighbors. We have served you through wars, recessions, and even a Chinese virus. Here is to serving you and your kids and your grandkids for the next 60 years, except on Sundays when we're closed, because it's the right thing to do. Still 24/7 at masheterford.net. Thanks.
Hey there, friends. Bo Bishop here from my friends at High Bank Distillery Co., located right here in Columbus. Introducing their newest product, 614 Vodka, Ohio's house vodka. Perfect to make a drink at home or try when you're out at your favorite local restaurant. Learn more at 614vodka.com.
We've all got it, you know, that one crazy thing you've always wanted to do, that bucket list goal. Then a cancer diagnosis, and that one thing still goes according to plan. I would know. I'm getting my first tattoo right now, while my 3 beautiful daughters laugh hysterically at me. 58 years old, 4 years of cancer-free checkups at Ohio Health. Go ahead and get a picture, girls. You keep making plans.
Visit ohiohealth.com/keepmakingplans.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
And I'm Cole Bartimus. We got a pretty big basketball day happening with a particular university in this town. Let's start with the men. The Buckeyes will be in Bloomington taking on the Hoosiers this afternoon. It will be a 3:45 tip. If you want to hear that game on the radio, we got you covered right here on the Fan. If you would like to watch that game, you can catch it on 10 TV. And if you want the best of both worlds, you can pause your TV and time it up with your radio to watch the game while Paul Keels is on the call. This will be the final regular season game of the Buckeyes season. A win would put them at 500 in conference play heading into the Big Ten tournament next week. Now watch, here comes a cute radio transition. Speaking of the Big Ten conference tournament, the Ohio State women won their first game of the tournament last night. They got the double bye, so they had to wait a while, but they drew the Iowa Hawkeyes and beat them 60-59. Cody McMahon sunk a pair of free throws to give them the win in the end. They're back at it today against UCLA at 5:30. Breaking sports news when it happens on the Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Just because it's the weekend doesn't mean we shut up. This is Fan Sports Saturday.
All right, so as I was stumbling through the end of the last segment, you reminded me in the break that Urban had 3 groups on his football team.
Correct.
That represented, are you an adult or are you still behaving like a child?
Yes.
Gold, red, and blue.
Correct.
Were the 3 categories you fit into.
You start off in the blue and you work your way up. It's a little chart that's in the weight room. You work your way up the chart.
So what does being in the gold group mean? Or what did being in the gold group mean with Urban Meyer's teams?
That means that you're a grown man. That means that you handle your business. You can schedule your own tutoring. You don't have to do tutoring. You don't have class checkers. You can live off campus. All of that. All the things. They don't have to worry about you.
What did the red group mean?
The red means that you are showing the effort. Like, we still got to check on you every once in a while, but you know what I'm saying? You headed in the right direction. That's what the red is.
What did the blue mean?
Oh, we got to hand walk you through this.
So where were you?
At the beginning, when I was academically ineligible. This is so sad because I came here. And my first year, this all happened freshman year. So my first semester, I had like a 3.75. I was like, oh,
damn.
I walked in like, because I'm coming from Bedford. I'm coming from Cleveland. And I'm like, everybody talks about how Cleveland's education ain't that great or whatever it is. So I'm nervous. I'm like, I don't know. So, when you test to go into college, for math, you got to test to see what math course you're going to be in. I tested in college math. So I walk in, I went to upperclassmen. I'm walking in like, oh man, I'm doing well. Now, I have to remind everybody that my first semester of college was in the spring. So like January. So like I didn't have football on my mind. Like
were you guys the first group without quarters?
I was still with quarters my first year.
Okay.
Then that summer is where they went to semesters. So my first semester of college or whatever was quarters. Anyways, during there, that's when I had the 3.7. When we got to the season, right, this is where things got hairy because it's new. Juggling football and school was more difficult than I anticipated that I would be, because in high school, I was one of those kids that I ain't got to study nothing. Like, I'm going to pay attention in class. Even though I'm a class clown, I'm going to still pay attention. But I knew a lot of the stuff, so, like, I could get away. I could look at a paper, like, before the test started, I look at the paper like this. All right, give me the test. Boom, and I just remember what the paper said. Like, that's how good I was. In college, it didn't work like that. I learned the hard way. So what happened was I ended up failing business calculus was the class that I was taking. And I ended up failing the class.
What even is that?
Business calculus?
Yeah.
I wanted to be an accountant when I first got to college. I wanted to go to the Fisher School of Business, become an accountant. And what happened, because I'm really good with numbers. And what happened was during football season, I couldn't really study this stuff. Like, it was hard to lock in because I was still worried about trying to impress my coach and try to make sure that I could play like those.
Sure, you were a trestle guy in an urban system.
Yeah, it's a lot on my plate. So I ended up failing business calculus. And that was the first flag. They said, if you fail 2 classes, like, you're going to be academically ineligible. And I was flirting with like a D in my econ class. And this is a kid that went to class every day. I went to class every day, paid attention to all those things, but it just was so hard. And I had tutoring for all this stuff, and I just couldn't. It was too much. It was too much for me. So we get to the econ final, and I take it, and I'm like not sure that I did well on this econ final. So I go back to the dorms, and I'm telling Cardell, I said, Cardell, I think I'm going to be academically ineligible. And this is how I know Cardell's like a brother to me. He goes, that's funny you say that, because I think I might be academically ineligible too. So they like, well, you better email your professors or something to see what can happen. So I'm emailing the professors. None of them get back to you because they're busy grading and all those things. And I go back home and I check my final grades for econ. When I seen that C, oh man, I fell to the floor. I vowed that moment to never put myself in that position ever again. And I did it. I ended up graduating with a 2.98.
It's pretty impressive.
Thank you.
Graduating early with that GPA,
with a
going into the NFL with a degree from Ohio State. Like,
yes,
that's as impressive as it gets. That's worth $20 on the Cameo. So at one Tyvis, if you're so interested to get your kids who may be academically ineligible or facing such a cliff, Tyvis will walk you off that or back from it.
I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. That's the only time in my life I've ever been like,
that's incredible,
flirting with academically being ineligible. Like I used to laugh at people like, you ineligible? What's wrong with you?
I can see where sophomore and junior Tyvis,
you can't get a 2.0,
was that kind of a teammate.
Yeah,
because
you can't get a 2.0. Like, really?
In the 3+ years we've done this show together, you've always pounded the table for I never missed a class in college. So I always assumed college was great, and it was for you.
It was,
but I had that hairy moment.
I had that one scary semester, and that was it. I never again. I was a great student after that. I found a way to balance things, and what I did was the playbook. The good news was the playbook got easy to me because when you're in it for another year, it becomes second nature to you. So I actually learned the playbook quickly from that. So I was able to spend more time on academics.
I was always just smart enough to get by. And the first class I ever failed was junior year. There was an accounting class, and I just never went. And so by the time the final rolled around, I knew I wasn't gonna. I could have gotten an A on it and still failed the class, so I didn't show up for the final. That should tell you everything you need to know about me as a student. It was garbage.
You know what? The craziest thing I ever seen was we were taking. I think this was like the OGT. Did you have OGT? The Ohio graduation?
To graduate, yeah.
I don't even know if that's what it's called anymore, but I showed up to do the OGT in high school, and I can't remember what section of it was, but it was this girl who showed up, and you get like 2 hours to take the test or whatever. She was done in 5 minutes, and everybody was like, "What?" And she literally, it was either A or B. She said she just put B on every last one of them and just turned it in. She said, I got a 50% chance of.
Yeah, that's true.
And I said, that's a cop-out, though.
Well, did you ever in college or in high school, when you had a Scantron, if you didn't know the answer, you had a default letter? I would always default to C. Because I said to myself, C's get degrees, so whatever.
Why does everybody default to C?
Because I think the brain, you overthink it, of course. I think your brain tells you, well, it can't be A. It can't be the first answer.
Well, the funny thing
I don't trust B.
The funny thing is, when I was a kid, I used to take these tests. I would always look at the test and be like, man, I got too many A's on there. Like, I ain't got no B's,
overthinking it, brother.
I got a lot of A's. So I would go back and switch my answers to be like, I can't be right. Like that. So that's the thing. You definitely overthink stuff that shouldn't be.
So, Tyvis, you said that you were going to every class. Were you staying in every class?
I stayed in every class.
Okay, because when I was in college, I was in a giant lecture. Jonathan Cooper was in it. Brendan White was in it.
I got up and left.
Baron Browning was in it. Baron Browning, I think, was a good student, or he just didn't get along with the players because, like, all the players were sitting together, but Baron Browning would actually sit on his own and, like,
sounds like Joshua Perry.
Yeah, so he was, like, actually focusing.
Was Joshua Perry a front row class guy?
I
could see that.
Josh is different, Josh is he actually took the initiative to getting dressed properly.
Sounds like Joshua.
Class. He'd be there raising his hand, asking questions. He was one of those guys.
It's how you succeed, kids.
Where we're in the back
I'm in the back with my hood over my head. I'm falling asleep during class.
Yeah. But I know that they had, like, some goofball come in and, like, take attendance at the beginning of class.
Yeah.
And then what happens after he leaves and checks attendance?
So
who knows?
I'm gonna tell you a story about that. So econ, the class that I was about to fail, I had a class checker by the name of Larry Romanoff. Shout out to Larry Romanoff. He listens to the show frequently. He listens to 97.1. Great guy. He was our class checker, and what he would do is he'd come in, he'd check you in. And then halfway through class, he'd come back and look to see where we was at. And we'd be, we still here, don't worry about it. So you had that going on for certain people. So, like, in that case, you could never just get up and leave econ because he's going to come back and see if you're still in that class because he knew people was getting up and leaving.
So you passed.
I ended up passing. Now, I passed because there was a great curve. Man, it was no feeling like a curve.
The curve. Yeah. The curve always helps.
At OU, did you get 3 redos before it counts against your GPA?
I think so.
Because we could redo 3 classes.
I thought it was just 1. That's why they let me do business calculus again. I got up getting the B the second time.
I always thought it was either 2 or 3 because I remember the accounting class that I failed. I was like, well, I got at least one more chance at this, so maybe 2.
And you're like, that F doesn't count against my GPA yet.
Right, I can.
Freshman forgiveness is what we called it.
Or junior.
Grade forgiveness.
That's a shame. Y'all is sad. That's sad.
No, we had grade forgiveness. That's what it was called.
I am not a good example. Nobody should ever take what I do or have done as an example in anything. In academics or radio or life.
Tyvis, red, blue, and gold, was that just academics or just behavior in general?
Oh, it's behavior in general.
So was there some moving and shaking after the New York NBA All-Star Game trip?
Yeah. Coach Mick got upset and was like, and moved a lot of them. Because at that time, a lot of people was red, teetering gold. He moved a lot of them back down to blue for sure. But if he was like, at this point, we're seniors, so it's not like Cardell or them is going to go back and...
They're not checking their status on the board.
Yeah, they're not going to go and you're going back to the dorms. Like, that's not going to be the case.
Was there ever that threat of an upperclassman of, like, putting him back in the dorms and putting him on lockdown?
Yeah. If you felt like, yes.
That's wild. At one, Tyvis on Cameo, if you want more wild stories of his days playing under Urban Meyer at Ohio State. When we talk about learning and you're learning from your mistakes, or you learn from the mistakes of others, or you sit under a learning tree long enough, can that come to fruition for Brian Hartline, who's been under the Ryan Day, Chip Kelly learning tree now as he is the full-time play caller for this Ohio State offense? You'll hear from the Buckeyes' new offensive coordinator coming up next. Sports Saturday on The Fan.
Tweet from a listener. Are you carrying the Buckeye game today? Considering we've never not carried one, yes. The answer is yes. The Fan.
The Red Clay Strays, live. Get Right Tour. August 12th, Kimba Live Outdoor. A night of sultry Southern rock. On sale now at the Penn Station box office and online at AXS.com. The Red Clay Strays, brought to you by Promo West Productions.
Meet the new Monopoly Bonus Spectacular scratch-offs from the Ohio Lottery. Scratch off greenhouses to reveal winning numbers for a chance at over $113 million in total cash prizes. That's a spectacular amount of winnings. 5 games from $1 to 20. Multipliers from 5 to 100 times. Chance bonuses and top prizes up to $1 million. When you play the Monopoly Bonus Spectacular scratch-offs, what you find under a greenhouse could change everything. Monopoly is a trademark of Hasbro. Lottery players are subject to Ohio laws and commission regulations. Play responsibly.
Hey, it's Anthony from my friends at Germain Honda of Dublin. If you're searching for a Honda lease deal here in Central Ohio, I know you've come to the right place. Leasing allows you to enjoy that flexibility and one of their fantastic, sharp, reliable vehicles. I'm so confident that Rich and his team can tailor a lease deal that's right for you. Like a 2025 CRV LX all-wheel drive, $349 a month for 36 months, 30,000 miles with only $19.99 down. Germain Honda of Dublin, Sawmill Road, just south of 270.
Miss, your burger is served.
Thank you.
And if I may suggest a pairing, this is our finest Pepsi Zero Sugar. The sweetness of Pepsi perfectly balances the savory notes of your burger, while the citrus and carbonation elevates the taste for a truly stunning flavor profile. Bon appetit.
Now that is one perfect combination. If this is how the other half lives, I could get used to this. Burgers deserve Pepsi.
Hoops fans, are you ready to score big and get lucky this March? What's up? It's T-Bone. I'm here to tell you that Bud Light will be holding mini hoops challenges at bars and restaurants across town over the next several weeks with one goal in mind: to send one lucky local winner to Las Vegas, where they'll compete for $10,000. Take your shot at March Madness glory. This week, join Bud Light on Thursday night as they take over Pastimes New Albany on North Hamilton Road. They'll be there from 8 to 10 p.m., and they'll have a mini hoops basketball challenge that'll give you a shot at a Vegas trip and $10,000.
The best matchup is you in a new Kia from Coughlin Kia. Get into a new Kia now with $0 down. Get 0% financing on select new Kias and make 0 payments for 3 months on any new Kia in stock. Visit CoughlinKia.com.
0% for 72 equals $13.89 per 1,000 financed on Nero EV, EV6, and EV9 with approved credit through Kia Motor Finance. 90 days deferred payments until June 2025. Qualified manufacturer incentives to dealer. Prior sales excluded. No security deposit. Residency restrictions may apply. Offers cannot be combined. See dealer for details. Ends 3/31/25.
Rise and shine, jabronis.
Quite a show this morning.
There's only one place where Buckeye legends lay the smackdown. Morning Juice with Bobby and Beamer.
Weekday mornings starting at 6.
Give me a juice box, yeah.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Need inspiration? Shop Kroger for mouth-watering meals and appetizing ingredients. Our low prices add up to big savings, plus over $600 in digital coupons each week, and up to $1 off per gallon at the pump. At Kroger, you always get big flavors and big savings. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
Right now, 80% lean ground beef is on sale. 3-pound packages are only $3.99 a pound with your card. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Military veterans and active duty service members, you could become a certified cyber warrior with just 12 weeks of training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, and IT pros with these skills often enjoy abundant opportunity and a great lifestyle. Protect our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. GI Bill, SkillBridge, and other VA benefits are available to those who qualify. Learn more at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. That's mycomputercareer.edu/CWP.
Home values in Columbus are sky high, and you have a ton of equity. Your financial advisor thinks the market has peaked. So if you're thinking about selling, it's time. Except for two things. High interest rates will burn you on a new home loan, and you're not ready to move. Savvy financial advisors suggest Truehold's new Sell and Stay program. It's ingenious because they buy your home now while its value is high, but you can stay in your home as long as you want with an easy, affordable lease. Smart, right? Truehold will make you a solid cash offer, not a lowball offer like the others. It's based on your home's current value. The cash is yours to travel, pay off bills, or secure your retirement. And again, you can stay in your home with a comfortable lease. Truehold covers property taxes, insurance, and maintenance. See how much Truehold will pay for your home today. Call 1-855-300-9993 or visit Truehold.com. The smarter, faster way to cash out your home's value without moving. That's Truehold.com.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
We will see clouds clear out and see a little bit more sunshine going into the day. We'll see highs in the low 40s with winds right around 5 to 15 miles per hour. For tonight, skies will be mostly clear and chilly as our lows drop around the low 30s. And then as we get into your Sunday, get ready. Even warmer weather on the way as our highs get into the low 50s with plenty of sunshine. For the Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfalo with your 10 weather impact forecast.
Common Man has spent the past 18 years telling you how much he hates people. And yes, that probably means you too. Common Man and T-Bone.
Weekdays at 3.
The Fan. Instead of annoying national people talking to you this weekend, we've opted for annoying local people. This is Fan Sports Saturday.
We will effort here in about 12 minutes. Matty Andrews of the Ohio State Sports Network. He was on the call right here on the Fan last night of Ohio State's 1-point win over Iowa in the Big Ten Women's Tournament quarterfinals. They've got UCLA tonight at 5:30. That game will be over on ESPN Columbus with coverage starting at 5:15. The Ohio State men's squad has Indiana today in the season finale for both teams. That'll be 3:45 tip from Bloomington. Coverage on the Fan starts at 2:45. Both of them trying to stay bubblicious. The last game of the season, the Big Ten men's basketball tournament, Tyvis, that starts next Wednesday. For Ohio State right now, the season ended today. They'd be a 10 seed, and they'd play USC next Wednesday at 3:30. Or no, next Wednesday at probably 6 o'clock.
I like that. I take that.
Which would be on the Peacock games for the first 3 for the Big Ten tournament. But if they're able...
We just can't get off of the Peacock.
So, again, you took the money. You signed the contract.
I get it.
Right?
I get
it stinks.
Man, we got to get better, man.
Because 6 o'clock on the Peacock is not a place where anybody wants to be. So for Ohio State, if they win and they jump Indiana for that 9 spot, they'd play the 8th seed next Thursday at noon.
Who's the 8th seed?
As of right now, I want to say it's Oregon. So you get that game next Thursday at noon. You're able to put yourself in, I think, a little better spot, and probably not on Peacock.
I'm more confident in the ability to beat USC.
Well, what you got to do is beat Indiana today.
That's true.
I think it's really important. It isn't a must-win by any stretch of the imagination, but I think it's really important for this team to continue to build into the postseason, right? You can't build off of losses. You especially can't build off of damn losses that you have leads for most of and you throw away at the end. Like, that doesn't give you confidence. I think that's the one thing this team needs right now is confidence, because that helps you shoot. And if you're shooting hot,
you got to shoot about 60%, which when they do that, it overcompensates for them not being able to rebound and maybe not being able to stop people at the cup. But if you're shooting really at a high clip, it don't matter what the other teams do.
Meaningful postseason action is, I think, exactly what this program needs to build into the future.
Yes.
You're going to have this team's going to look very different next year. Some similar faces, but a lot of new.
A lot of new ones, yeah. So that's college basketball. That's the new world we live in with the transfer portal. They have the ability to be one and done, so you got guys that's going to come and go like that. But a lot of the times, the transfer portal, like, you have to win now. Like, this is the thing, like, especially Jake Diebler. Like, you're going to get this year with this group. You get the circumstances that Ross Bjork pointed out with the guys out of the lineup. Okay, that's fair. Next year, that can't be the case. You got to go a little bit further. We're paying you to do this, so you got to go a little bit further. We're going to help you in recruiting. We're going to help you try to get some of these good portal kids, which you thought you did. You got Michi, Sean Stewart, Aaron Bradshaw. When people heard those three names,
1 for 3 ain't bad.
But I'm saying, when you heard those 3 names in the portal, you would say, okay.
You thought you would be able to compete for a Big Ten regular season championship.
Yeah.
You thought you had, with a backcourt of Michi Johnson playing as well as he did at South Carolina the last 2 seasons.
We wouldn't be
with Bruce Thornton.
We weren't sitting here talking about maybe getting in the tournament. Like, we thought, at least they get 1 or 2 games inside the tournament when you've initially heard those 3 signings in the offseason.
Yeah,
and it just hasn't panned out.
Yeah, Michi, you'll probably nobody's going to talk about much again. And it was interesting to hear Ross Bjork's comments when he was on with Morning Juice. You know, just because you mentioned it has to be a factor in evaluating this season, the loss of Michi Johnson. But it's done for him, and I don't think it really behooves Jake Diebler to bring it up at all anymore.
Yeah.
Because you're still trying to stay connected to his family. You've got his cousin coming in 2026. And that the Johnson family in Northeast Ohio is an important basketball connection to keep. And we know how important and how big relationships were in terms of hiring Jake Diebler for Ross Bjork, for the players in the past for this Ohio State basketball squad. So Aaron Bradshaw, I think, too, if he wants a raise, you can show him the door on that. But you're going to have to really reevaluate where you're putting your money for the transfer portal and NIL. There's got to be a return coming next year.
Wait a minute.
If you want to build something, go ahead.
You think he would ask for a raise?
Yes.
After the season?
Yes.
You think he asked for a raise?
I had heard that there were players at the NFL scouting combine that were asking teams, well, you want my time? How much is it going to cost you? How much is it going to cost?
I mean, that's
a team comes up to him and wants an interview, and an NFL prospect looks to an NFL team and says, I'm going to need to get paid for that time. Are you sure that's the thing you want to be asking at the combine?
He's not a businessman. He's a businessman.
It's a little audacious.
Look at him.
Little audacious.
You couldn't believe it. You was just like, who do these kids think they are? Now, they get a couple dollars in their pocket and they go crazy.
The Shedeur Sanders discussion this past week's made my head spin. People are sitting there going like, I don't understand why he has to act like that. What do you mean, why?
You know his daddy?
And this is surprising to you?
I don't know why that's the part that makes me
Jeremiah Smith's going to be able to have that kind of cachet, because if you're a team picking 10th and you go, hey, we want to talk to you for a second, he pulls the, I'm not going to be there, so no.
That's a fact.
I'm not blaming him for that, but a Friday, a Saturday guy that's just, that played a couple games at Who Cares State asking these types of questions, like, or asking for these types of monetary compensation for time, buddy. And similarly with Aaron Bradshaw.
I don't think he's going to ask for more.
Okay, but if he does, you can say, you can pack your stuff and we'll send it to you. Because this is been a miss.
It's definitely
with your NIL.
It's definitely a position that they have to address.
Now, don't go looking to Great Osabor and say, well, we maybe pay that. Like, that's, you talk about bad returns on investment, but this is the era that we're in. And so that has to be, if you're especially a team like Ohio State that's so reliant year to year out on portal persons, that's got to be there.
There's no way there's some kid that kids is asking for raises like that. You want my time, you got to pay me.
Well, so those are two different conversations we're having. I'm talking in terms of how audacious are these kids. That was supposed to help my point. Where you say, how is Aaron Bradshaw going to ask for a raise?
He died.
Okay.
There's no way he can turn the tape on it. You know what?
Just like, how could an NFL prospect ask an NFL team for compensation for an interview at the combine?
There's no way that happened.
Okay.
Hey.
Put names on it.
Hey.
But okay.
Hey.
We're supposed to talk about Brian Hartline. And what I think would have been audacious a couple of years ago would have make him the primary play caller for this Ohio State offense. Mm-hmm. That was Ryan Day's bread and butter.
Yeah.
That's why Urban brought him in. That's why Urban gave him the nod of approval when they needed a new head coach. This guy's an offensive whiz. Mm-hmm. He's shown that. He won a national championship. Chip Kelly was brought in to run the Ryan Day offense, and they were going to work together for this. Mm-hmm. Now, Brian Hartline's had a couple of seasons as that co-offensive coordinator sitting under the learning tree of Ryan Day, of Chip Kelly, of a lesser extent Bill O'Brien for a hot cup of coffee. But even still, a couple minutes with Bill O'Brien will help your football acumen and help your football IQ. Mm-hmm. You also got the chance to see these guys work live and in real time against a Jim Knowles defense.
Yes.
Learning how to call plays, learning how to adjust. Mm-hmm. At the half, making adjustments, having hard conversations with your players about the adjustments they need to make. And so for Hartline, this felt like the right time time to make that full-time promotion to the Buckeyes' primary play caller heading into 2025. Here's the head coach, Ryan Day, on that.
I believe very strongly that Brian's going to do a great job as an offensive coordinator. I think he's really grown in a lot of areas. I give him a lot of credit for, he was named coordinator a couple years ago. I still called the plays. Then we brought in Chip and his attitude of I'm just going to learn from Chip in a big way. And then some of the work that he did, Keenan did, and Billy did down the stretch in some of the pass game. And I think he's got, a really good handle now on protections and even in the run game. He's ready to call it now.
Your confidence in this situation.
And Brian Hartline calling the play?
Yep.
The thing that I worry about is making sure that you don't forget to run the ball. That's because, as a wide receiver and as a wide receiver coach, those are your guys. You want to feed your guys. You recruited a lot of those guys to come here, and they want to catch the ball, and you got to remember that I got to feed these guys. But the success of the Buckeyes have always been with a good run game. I think last year even told you that.
Oh, yeah.
So you have to remember that. That's my only thing, which they brought in, was it Tyler, whatever? Bowen.
Tyler Bowen from Virginia Tech?
Thank you. Yes, he's the run game coordinator. Yes. So those two are going to have to do a really good job of working together to understand when to run the ball and everything. It can't be just a 7-on-7. We've seen the 7-on-7 with some of the best players, with the CJs, the Chris Olaves, Garrett Wilsons, JSN, and it didn't get us to the championship. But having an effective run game is. So him learning those things, I'm interested to see, is he able to put those two together, have that good run game, but also be able to feed some of his guys?
And a run game that's going to look different.
Yeah.
CJ Donaldson comes in from West Virginia. You've got James Peoples. You picked up Turbo Rogers. Mm-hmm. You've still got T.C. Caffey there. Bo Jackson will also want to factor into whatever this rushing attack's going to look like for Ohio State. And you've got a week from Monday to really kind of start to put those pieces together. Oh, yeah, your quarterback hasn't played a meaningful game in college. And Texas is the first one up. I keep hammering that point because you can't have burnt orange around the facility too much right now, but it's got to start creeping its way in.
Yeah.
How you walk that tightrope between fast tracking and preparing everybody who's so unprepared right now.
Orange Man, he played, 3-4 games last year?
Texas is dealing with a similar issue.
It ain't like he's just this veteran coming in.
Which is something that works in your favor, but it's going to be Texas, and it's going to be the eyes of college football, and it's going to be the biggest game of the season. One of the earliest times a one's played a two in college football. I think the earliest actual time. So a lot's going to be surrounding that.
Will it be a nooner?
We'll have that discussion coming up later in the program. We do got to take a basketball break as we go over to Indianapolis, where we'll find Maddie Andrews of the Ohio State Sports Network in 2 minutes. It's Sports Saturday on The Fan.
At Meijer, we work hard to bring more of the good life to your life so you can bring home more perfectly plump and flavorful produce picked for precise freshness, beautifully marbled beyond brag-worthy certified Angus beef, and more must-have money-saving M-Perks rewards. Because saving more on local favorites is good, but bringing home more of what you love in every trip, that's the good life. We do more to make life a good deal better at Meijer.
Meet the new Monopoly Bonus Spectacular scratch-offs from the Ohio Lottery. Scratch off greenhouses to reveal winning numbers for a chance at over $113 million in total cash prizes. That's a spectacular amount of winnings. 5 games from $1 to 20. Multipliers from 5 to 100 times. Chance bonuses and top prizes up to $1 million. When you play the Monopoly Bonus Spectacular scratch-offs, what you find under a greenhouse could change everything. Monopoly is a trademark of Hasbro. Lottery players are subject to Ohio laws and commission regulations. Play responsibly.
Looking to sell your home? Don't pay 6% commission. Call my guys at Sell for 1% Realtors. They're full service, not a do-it-yourself kind of thing. On average, customers save over $10,000. Give them a call, 614-451-6616. That's 451-6616.
They're trained. They're fired up.
Let's do it.
When you need heat, they can't be beat. They're Ohio State's undefeated heating and cooling team. For plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling, there's only one team. The Waterworks. Better care, better value, better results. Call the Waterworks at 614-232-2222 or visit them online at thewaterworks.com. A proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
This is a Craver service announcement. Stop what you're doing and get 10 cheese sliders for a new low price of just $7.99. Your choice of melty American, spicy jalapeno, or cheddar cheese. Only $7.99 for 10 cheese sliders. White Castle. Follow your crave.
There's nothing Bo Bishop can't do well, except find competent co-hosts. Bishop and Friends.
Weekdays from 9 to noon.
The Fan. Sports talk, weekend style. You're listening to Fan Sports Saturday.
Yes, you are. Eric Reister, Tyvis Powell, and a busy basketball Saturday awaits as Ohio State got a 60-59 win over Iowa last night in the quarterfinals of the Big Ten Women's Tournament. They've got UCLA in the semifinals tonight at 5:30. Winner advances to tomorrow's championship game to take on either USC or Michigan. The man who was on the call right here on The Fan, Maddie Andrews of the Ohio State Sports Network, joins us on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. Maddie, thanks so much for the time this morning. Appreciate you coming on with us after what was a late night, but play great defense and make your free throws. Seemed to be a pretty good recipe for Ohio State's success last night.
You're exactly right, Eric. Great to be with you and Tyvis. Thanks for a few minutes. Very exciting game, very well competitive. Iowa was very much up to the challenge, and one possession, one flip of the wrist at the buzzer, 1 second left to shoot that baseline, 8-footer or so. It was a short range, but it was a rush shot because of the inbounds time left. But the Buckeyes got it done, and they move on. That's all that matters here in March.
As you're sitting courtside.
Standing here at the Gainbridge Fieldhouse now for shoot-around. So the Buckeyes are currently on the floor getting ready for the semifinal game.
As last night goes final and you just kind of see the emotion pouring off of Cody McMahon, just what do you think that kind of a win meant for her, and what really the run that the Buckeyes hope to go on would mean for Cody?
For Cody, for Taylor Theory, for Madison Green, for Asia Petty, for Chance Gray, Ebony Walker especially. I mean, there's a lot of veteran presence here, and I talked to Coach McGuff about that. We just recorded his pregame. That was a big factor last night. And for these ladies, I think it kind of settles them down a little bit going into today. They did not play well against UCLA the first meeting. They didn't shoot it well. They were 30% from the floor, hit only 3 threes. But to win that game, I think squarely puts the Buckeyes right back in the positive side of the bubble in terms of hosting as a top 4 seed in the NCAA tournament. Maryland lost yesterday, a bad loss for them. Look, the Buckeyes beat them once, lost to them once, and with what's going on around the landscape, I think it allows the Buckeyes probably to be in a position to be the front runner to host as a 4 seed in the NCAA tournament. Certainly a win today will lock that up, but that's certainly not a given. It'll be a tough one here against the former number 1 Bruins, the number 1 seed Bruins, and the number 2 seed Bruins and the Big Ten runner-up.
You know, you talk about that. You know, the last time they played, obviously UCLA won 65-52, and Lauren Betts had a really good game, really big game actually. She had 19 points.
She had a good game against great players, Tyvis. Yeah, she's great.
Yeah,
she's really good.
How do they slow her down, and how do they adjust from when they lost? How do they pull the win tonight?
Nobody slows her down. USC does, but they're the number 1 team in the country. That's leading 20 points per game, leading scorer, leading rebounder at 10 points per game, 3 block shots per game, 3 assists per game. You're not going to stop her. You're rarely going to slow her down. She had 28 points, 13 boards, 7 blocks yesterday on the win over a big Nebraska team. But the Buckeyes will have to get very defensive-oriented in terms of how they guard her. They talked a lot on the scout this morning about keeping her off the elbow and understanding her angles once she gets to position at that elbow at the high post. But Lauren Betts at 6'7" as a junior is certainly an All-American performer, a defensive player of the year in this league, first-team All-Conference, and the player of the year in the Big Ten in terms of her ability. I mean, she was right there in the running with Juju Watkins, but Lauren Betts is as good as it gets. The Caitlin Clark type, similar in terms of what she has accomplished in just her 3 years here at UCLA.
Buckeyes and the Bruins in the quarterfinals of the Women's Big Ten Tournament tonight at 5:30. Our friend Maddie Andrews will have the call over on ESPN Columbus with coverage at 5:15. Maddie, on the other side of that bracket, the semifinal, Michigan pulling the surprise against Maryland yesterday, but taking on Juju Watkins and the USC Trojans. How do you see that game going down at 3 o'clock?
I think USC's got too much firepower, but I will give Michigan credit. They're playing great basketball. They've got a young team. They're a scary team, and a lot of credit to what the Maize and Blue are doing. They'll come in here, and hopefully it'll be a decent game, but USC is just way overpowering. Frankly, it's probably going to be an all West Coast final tomorrow. If you're a betting man, you just look at the odds, but the Buckeyes will certainly try to wreck that and pull up a big upset of their own here today. The semifinals at 5:30 for Ohio State.
I think for fans in this region, you're hoping for an Ohio State-Michigan final, but USC, UCLA are the follies for those two teams. Maddie Andrews will be on the call again tonight of Ohio State and UCLA over on ESPN Columbus. Maddie, thank you so much for the time this morning. Have a good call and safe travels back to Columbus on Monday or Sunday after Ohio State's won the Big Ten Tournament Championship, bud.
Eric, Tyvis, thanks, fellas. Have a great show.
Maddie joins us courtesy of the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. Yeah, I don't want to see another. I don't know if flameout's the right word, but it's the word that I'm going to use in the Big Ten tournament semifinals. I think this Ohio State team, and it's difficult, and I can hear it in Maddie's voice when you ask him about UCLA, when you ask him about USC. It just feels so insurmountable.
Yeah.
With Juju Watkins for the Trojans and Lauren Betts for the Bruins, that's going to be the matchup. But I want so much for those seniors and those veterans that Maddie, listed off, and for Ebony Walker and for, Jelani Cambridge in her freshman season. Like, I want so much for Kevin McGuff to get them to cut down the nets on Sunday. But again, you've got to move through the Bruins before you can get to that.
Well, similarly to the men's football team when they played in the playoffs.
Yep.
If they find a way to get it done, there's nothing you can say. They've beat the best.
Yeah.
And that's what you got to do. If you want to be the best, you got to beat the best. And UCLA and USC saying that USC beats the Wolverine, which they should because it's the Wolverines.
I'll ask you this. I want to see it be Ohio State and Michigan for the Big Ten Tournament Championship.
No.
Okay.
I want them to lose every game that they ever line up and play.
It just feels like for this Ohio State squad, if you're able to get past UCLA, you've got Juju Watkins waiting there. And she has a Caitlin Clark final boss feel.
Yeah. But guess what? Caitlin Clark never won a championship.
Very true.
So it can be done.
I thought it would annoy the hell out of Maddie Andrews if I'd asked him about Caitlin Clark, because as I'm watching the game, my timeline started to blow up with people in their cell phone video of Caitlin Clark going in to watch the Hawkeyes take that L.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask him, but I knew it would just. I could almost see the steam that would come out of his ears if I presented him with that question.
See, I would never want to be that popular.
Stop.
I wouldn't. Like you can't do anything. TMZ.
You don't have to.
TMZ
you got people.
Is sitting there waiting on you. As soon as you walk outside, videos.
It was amazing.
It's like, come on, man.
In the cell phone video of Caitlin Clark walking just to her seats, you saw 100 people with their cell phones out recording, and then 100 people recording that one. She's a superstar.
She is.
As much as there is ever been in that sport.
She does a really good job of handling it, too. Like, I love the way she...
A really good example.
I love her answers. I love the way she carries herself. She's really great.
But don't tell me you wouldn't want to be that.
Come on. That's too much.
21-year-old Tyvis Powell would thrive in that environment.
I'm not an attention seeker, man.
By the very nature of this profession, you're an attention seeker.
I just really want to fall off the face of the earth at some point. Like,
you're one of those, if you ever won the lottery, you wouldn't ever come to work?
Yeah, no. Like, you just... They're like, man, what happened?
I used to be the guy that's like, I'd produce content still, but like, no. If I won the lottery, you'd never see me again. And maybe for some people out there, they'd be like, well, thank God.
I'd go somewhere. If I won the lottery, I'd be at the house playing PlayStation all day. That's it.
What would you be playing?
Whatever I want.
Do you get time anymore to play video games?
Yeah, you can see
You got 6 jobs, 2 kids.
Hey, you know what? There's always time to get you at least a couple games.
Oh, that's right. You're playing the NHL. Was it NHL 2K? 2K25?
No, it's just
what do they call these things anymore?
NHL 25.
Thomas, you would get bored real quick. There was a month of unemployment for me in between St. Louis job and this job.
day 3, I got so bored. And it was just as the EA college football game came out. So it was all exciting. It was new. I was playing it all the time.
No?
Day 3, I was
think I'd be good.
sick and tired of it.
I think I could do it. I think I'd be.
If you had a couple $1 million.
That's what I'm saying. If I was like financially we set, my kids is set, they like, oh yeah, I'd be chilling.
No, Maddie talked about the NCAA tournament for the women. It's not set. Same thing with the men's tournament. The basketball Buckeyes are looking to remain bubblicious. Got to get through Indiana, I think, to feel confident about it. A loss today in Bloomington makes you feel a little like, well, a trip to Vegas could be in the future for the Buckeyes. We'll discuss that next at Sports Saturday on The Fan.
A lot has changed in 30 years, but we're still that old shoe that feels worn in and well-loved. And, well, we smell a little, but you've accepted that. The Fan.
Need inspiration? Shop Kroger for mouth-watering meals and appetizing ingredients. Our low prices add up to big savings, plus over $600 in digital coupons each week, and up to $1 off per gallon at the pump. At Kroger, you always get big flavors and big savings. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
We've lowered prices. You can save 15% or more on hundreds of items like Thomas Mini Bagels, Campbell's SpaghettiOs, and more. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
You still thinking job change in the new year?
Yeah, I need something that's in high demand and more stable in this economy.
IT?
Yeah, cybersecurity, maybe even AI.
That's what I did.
Really? How?
Went to My Computer Career. You don't need any prior experience, and you could start your new career in a matter of months. A lot of IT pros go to school there, too, to level up.
Sweet. Are classes online or on campus?
Both.
Well, I'll check it out. Thanks.
Make this your year. Take the free career evaluation now at mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students.
At Rocket, we believe everyone deserves their shot at the American dream. So if you're feeling locked out of home ownership, we're here to give you back the keys. We're opening doors, breaking down walls, and doing everything we can to turn renters into owners. And we're not going to stop until we help everyone home. To find out more, visit rocket.com. Rocket, own the dream.
Why pay more for prescriptions? Stop overpaying and start saving with SingleCare. It's easy. Find your prescription on singlecare.com, show the coupon at the pharmacy, and start saving. SingleCare works at pharmacies nationwide and is completely free to use, whether you have insurance or not. So the next time you fill a prescription, check SingleCare to make sure you're getting the best price. Take control of your prescription costs. Go to singlecare.com or download the free app today.
Get Eco.
Hey, Aaron.
Hey, Jerry.
You know, as much as I enjoy being a professional inventor, a few of my dream inventions still elude me.
Oh, yeah? Like what?
Well, the bruiseless avocado.
Ooh.
The unlosable TV remote.
Could change the world.
And for you, Aaron, the uncloggable drain.
Get Eco.
Until you crack it, Jerry. You know our 93 or free drain clearing offer is the next best thing.
Okay. Explain yourself.
Get Eco.
Our drain team will clear your drain for just $93. If we can't clear it, it's free. And we guarantee it'll stay clear for at least a year, or we will clear it again for free.
Get Eco.
We'll even send our little robot camera down there to make sure you don't have a larger problem that could cause more trouble in the future.
Get Eco.
You think your guys could bring that robot over to my place and help me find that TV remote?
I think that's impossible even for us.
Get Eco.
Eco, plumbers, electricians, and HVAC technicians.
GetEco.com.
Most radio stations suck. Here's why. They don't invest in local programming. We're live and local 14 hours a day. You can rest assured that every stupid thing we say is 100% local. Homegrown, dumb since day one. The Fan.
Hi, this is Bob Masheter from Dick Masheter Ford. Thank you to all of Central Ohio as we head towards 60 years of doing business in the Buckeye State. Dad opened up in 1967 simply trying to offer a better way to buy a car, and we've been working ever since to serve our neighbors. We have served you through wars, recessions, and even a Chinese virus. Here is to serving you and your kids and your grandkids for the next 60 years, except on Sundays when we're closed, because it's the right thing to do. Still 24/7 at masheterford.net. Thanks.
It's been a great run. Care Heating and Cooling has achieved goals I could only imagine 30 years ago. But now it's time for the next generation to take over. This is Mike Weens, now the retired founder of Care Heating and Cooling with my sons, Dennis and Ryan.
Dad, as Care grew over the years, you had many opportunities to sell Care to one of the big conglomerates that are buying companies all over Central Ohio. So tell our customers why you decided to keep Care in the family.
After talking about Care's values for over 30 years, I couldn't bear the thought of Care becoming the kind of company I was warning our customers about. I know the two of you will continue to treat our customers as I would, with honesty and integrity.
We will, Dad. In 2024, Care was awarded a BBB Torch Award for Ethics and was named the Lennox Partner of the Year. You don't earn those awards by leaving cat toys behind.
Call Care Heating and Cooling at 1-800-COOLING or schedule an appointment online at careheatingandcooling.com. When you need a company you can trust.
Pickup truck, sports car, motorcycle, minivan, townhouse, two-story, farmhouse, fixer-upper. What you drive and where you live is different for everyone, so it's important to have insurance that fits your needs and is just right for you. At Shelter Insurance, we understand that, which is why our agents help you design a comprehensive auto, home, and life insurance plan. Insurance that fits just right. Find an agent at shelterinsurance.com to get started. We're your shield. We're your shelter.
All your favorite fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. During weekend programming, pants are optional.
Look at my butt!
However, leather chairs may have been a bad choice. You're listening to Fan Sports Saturday.
What's going on, everybody? Hey, Arcadia second graders. My name is Tyvis Powell. I'm an Ohio State football alum. I was the defensive MVP of the 2015 College Football National Championship team. And I just wanted to take some time out to tell y'all, hey, I hear y'all mantra is be readers and leaders. Listen, continue to push as hard as you possibly can. Everybody wants a leader on their team, and it's going to take you very far in life. And make sure that you guys are reading constantly. There's so much power and so much knowledge out there that makes you a better person that you need to succeed in life. I also want to thank the high school and the junior high school student athletes for leading the second graders in the 2nd and 7 reading program. Keep up the greatness, and always and forever, go Bucks.
Cameo.com/1Tyvis. $20 will get you something that makes you want to run through that brick wall. Well, not really that brick wall. It's not a brick wall, but an actual brick wall. Do you remember recording that? Do you remember all the cameos that you do?
Yeah, I do.
That came from the heart.
Yeah. Love that. It was great, wasn't it?
That was, tell you what, if I'm a second grader and there's Pizza Hut on the line, I'm reading all the books because Tyvis Powell told me to.
You know what the interesting thing was when we were doing the show last week, when we was on Lane, the guy walked up to me and he was saying that you're the one that made the cameo video to tell me that we are having a grandchild. So I got to.
That's right.
I got to break the news.
You broke good news.
Yeah. So it was just it's like moments like that. Like I feel connected. Like I'm in the loop with what's going on.
You are part of the fabric of this community.
So I like that.
That's pretty cool. Again, cameo.com at 1Tyvis for all of your motivational and positive news breaking opportunities. You had asked me earlier in the show if Ohio State's game on August 30th against Texas would be a nooner or a nighter. Well, I hope it will be a nighter. I don't think we can shut the door on the possibility of it being a big noon kick.
No, but a draft?
It's at Ohio State. If Fox gets their pick, maybe they don't go Michigan.
Yeah, right.
When Ohio State goes to Austin, that reverts to the SEC, which is ESPN. That will be a night game.
There's no way that they can't take it. I don't
know if there's no way, Tyvis. All I'm saying, I hope it's the case that it's a night game. It deserves to be a night game. Never before in history has there been an earlier matchup between 1 and 2, which I truly believe these two teams will be ranked when the polls come out late July, early August.
Why is it ever going to be a rotation? Like, okay, Fox got to pick first this year, next year.
I think it does rotate.
Oh, okay.
But after the first couple of picks, I think you get like a Fox, CBS, NBC order, and then they rotate. Oh, which is a rotation in and of itself.
So the first 3 games that's probably going to go would be the rivalry game.
So what does Fox do, right? Does Fox decide we want the game? Do we
yes.
But Ohio State, Texas is sitting there.
Yeah, but you can't get them all.
They passed on Ohio State Notre Dame for the game.
See?
Yeah, no, I agree with you. There's a chance.
And CBS is going to be like, oh, we're definitely taking that. And then NBC is going to say, well, we taking Ohio State versus Penn State.
I think NBC's got that day. I think they have an obligation.
But Ohio State, Penn State, November 1st?
The day Ohio State plays Texas on August 30th, I think there are games that other networks would have to take because this would be Ohio State's partners. So CBS, NBC, Fox.
Let me ask you this.
Sure.
So about NBC taking Ohio State and Penn State, that would make it a night game, but that's November 1st, and they said they didn't do night games. Is that
they did say that contractually, but I think there was a Michigan State game that they acquiesced to.
But they said
Ohio
that was
State,
the last time, I thought.
It can always be this can be the last time then.
Well, technically it's not fair to say that because Tennessee was a night game, and it was even colder.
Well, but Tennessee was a college football playoff game, so that's a different contract entirely, right? Is this clear as mud? Yes. All right, so I'm trying to see on August 30th, if Alabama, Florida State is an ACC, it would be Florida State who is going to kumbaya with the ACC, at least for now. Auburn at Baylor is a Big 12 game. LSU at Clemson would be an ACC game. So ESPN has, there's conflicts there. I'm trying to see Michigan. No. Yeah, I think it really comes down to on August 30th, because Notre Dame and Miami, that's on Sunday, August 31st. What does Fox prioritize? Are they going with the game?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Then it's a night game. But if Fox says, no, we want Texas, Ohio State, I don't have the big noon kick sounder. I don't know if there is. I don't know the music. There's no music you can associate with big noon kick, but I would play it here. That was.
When I hear Texas versus Ohio State, it just comes off to me as a 3:30 game.
Well, now we're doing 3:30?
It just comes off to me as.
How does it come off to you like that?
Because it's not early, but it's not late.
It's in the middle of the day.
It just sounds like a great 3:30 game.
No, this sounds like a night game.
Telling you.
But
when they played them back in the day,
those are night games.
What?
Yeah.
I thought it was 3:30.
Those are night games.
Well, maybe it's a night game.
But that's the only thing I will hang on to. That is if Fox decides to pivot. And pick this one.
So that means
get McConaughey at noon. All right.
Are you saying to me that if Fox doesn't take the game,
mm-hmm.
it won't be at noon?
I don't know. I'm saying it's unlikely at noon unless Fox chooses.
Yeah, okay.
If Fox chooses noon. If CBS, NBC, or ESPN somehow gets it, it's night.
You can't break traditions.
Yes, you can. You did Michigan, Ohio State at 3:30. 2006.
That was a special occasion.
This is pretty special, my friend.
No, it's not.
Ohio State, Texas 1v2? Arch Manning, Julian Sain, national champions.
It could be
a rematch of the college football semifinal.
The first game of the season is sloppy. It's going to be sloppy.
Well, it will. That's true.
All right.
But the pomp and circumstance surrounding it, man, a lot of eyeballs are going to be on this thing. I'm not breaking any news to anybody. A lot of eyeballs, at least eyeballs locally.
Fox don't care about that because all they're going to do is put the Buckeyes at noon for the rest of the year anyway, so they'll get their ratings.
Well, but they want this one, too. Remember I talked about more? Remember that friend?
The game, always.
I think so. If you're asking me what's going to happen, and you say, Eric, what do you think? I think the Foxes, if they have the number one pick, they're taking the game. Ohio State and Texas will go at night. I think. There's still that chance that it doesn't happen, though. So
CBS can do night games?
They would, I think, in this instance.
Okay.
So
I thought they was all locked in the windows. I thought if you go Fox is 12, CBS 3:30, NBC was night. That's what I thought. Not 100% sure, but you know what? I know somebody that does.
That's the formula.
I know somebody that does. His name is Joshua Edward Perry.
Well, did you text him?
Well, actually, the funny thing is we're in a group chat right now, and he's like, he's been texting.
Get his thoughts. We're not going to have time to give the thoughts as we've got 2 minutes left to go in this program.
He's in the classroom right now.
Asking questions in the front row. I tried to do that in college of sitting in the front row, and it just square peg, round hole.
Josh is a good dancer, too.
You put your head down?
Well, not when I was in the front row, but I was in the back. Hell yeah. I try to keep my head like up, and so I'd brace it against something.
Have you ever fell asleep in class?
Oh, all the time.
Really?
I got removed from class a lot in college for falling asleep and snoring.
I've only fallen asleep in class one time in college. We were watching.
We are not the same, Tyvis Powell. That is something I'm very confident telling to you.
It was my pop culture class, and we were.
That put you to sleep?
We was watching.
Okay.
Well, it was after a long day of working out and stuff like that.
I will say this: if you are teaching a class, I don't care at what level, and you show a movie, you are asking for students to fall asleep.
And that's what happened.
You cannot.
They put Pulp Fiction on.
Elementary school, middle school, high school, or in college. They did Pulp Fiction in college?
Yeah, it was. It's a great movie, but I was just so
at that
tired.
point, you were just throwing that class.
You shut the lights off and everything. I was out of there.
That's like an NBA team just sitting all its starters. Like, you're not being serious about this.
Go Bucks.
We didn't talk about the Cavs, who will make it 14 in a row when they beat your Milwaukee Bucks tomorrow night. Daylight savings time, or no, we're springing forward.
Yes, we're springing forward.
So make sure to set your clocks accordingly.
You'll know, because you'll wake up and it'll be an hour later than what you typically
We got to stop with this nonsense because I can't keep it together.
So we lose an hour.
I guess.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dang it.
Yeah. But we've warned you, so you're warned. Timmy Hall will be in here to warm you up at about 2:45, Ohio State and Indiana, 3:45 on the Fan.
An encyclopedic knowledge of sports and other random things you may or may not care about.
I think I found my mentor.
Rockman and Ice.
Weekdays from noon to 3.
The Fan.
Getting great deals at Meijer on the items your family loves makes shopping a good deal better. This week, plump and juicy red seedless grapes are $1.29 a pound. Certified Angus beef ground beef from Chuck is just $4.99 a pound. Purple Cow 48-ounce ice cream and frozen yogurt and select varieties of frozen novelties are just $2.99. And 12 packs of Coca-Cola or Pepsi products are buy two, get one free, plus deposit where applicable. Get more and save more at Meijer. That's the good life. Exclusions apply. See all deals in-store or in the Meijer app.
Hi, welcome to IKEA. Look at that selection of outdoor furniture. Yeah, whatever your space or budget, you'll find a setup for outside. How about an outdoor chaise lounge for my get some sun side? Yeah, and a table for my come on over, I'm grilling side. And outdoor lights for my date night on the patio side. Ooh, you're good. I try. We've got what you need to create an outdoor oasis. Plus, delivery starts at $19 when you shop online or choose to pick up at your local store today.
Go to IKEA-USA.com for more details. Restrictions apply. Some products may require assembly.
Common Man here for Worthington Jewelers. I was the voice of another company for a long time, and then my good friend Bob Capace changed my mind about the jewelry experience. 25 years of local, 25 years of relationships. Experience the difference for yourself just like I did. The spring bridal sale is going on right now. You buy one, you get one 50% off. The best prices of the year on natural and lab-grown diamonds. Worthington Jewelers on High Street in Worthington, worthingtonjewelers.com.
Welcome to Nada Yada Island.
Next on Metro's Nada Yada Island podcast.
I almost fainted when the 4 new bombshells arrived. 4 free Samsung Galaxy A16 5G phones at Metro.
No way.
And finding out the 4th line is free. Oh, things got heated.
That's wild. Join Metro and get 4 free Samsung 5G phones. Only at Metro.
Plus tax. Bring 4 numbers and an ID and sign up for any Metro Flex plan. Not available currently at T-Mobile or been with Metro in the past 180 days.
Save big money on your next project now at Menards. Upgrade your home with new outlets from Legrand. They have innovative outlets and light switches available in a variety of finishes and styles with features like USB Type A and C charging ports. Brighten up your home and save big on Legrand outlets and light switches today. Plus, check out our weekly flyer on Menards.com for all the great deals happening now.
Save big money at Menards.
That's are us. When dreams sunk in, that's are us.
Right now, get $1,500 off a shower or tub replacement or $3,000 off a full bathroom remodel, plus low to no monthly payments. Call 380-225-BATH to schedule your free estimate or go to bathsareus.com. 380-225-BATH.
That's are us. When dreams sunk in.